with Grandma and Papa.
That's right, Saxon. And at No Bull, the holidays are all about family. And really, that's what camping is all about, too.
Maybe I should come work for you at your store, Papa. I can make the Goldie cakes.
Maybe in a few years.
Papa says used RVs are way better than new RVs.
That's right, Saxon. You learn quickly. So what do you have to say to all the people listening on the radio?
Happy Christmas to everyone in Canada.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
The wrapping paper is coming off. The gift box is opening.
Denver.
When they want sports in their
Rivers.
you'll find gifts.
Fires. He's got a one with it. Take it in. Touchdown. Fifth touchdown this season for Allen.
Here, alongside experts,
Fifth
pros who know
touchdown this season for Allen.
Under the tree for less. With
Fires. He's got a
sports, your source for the best sports gifts for over
Rivers.
35 years. And what can I get for you this year, little fella?
I want a new Ford F-150 with the FX4 package.
Adults need toys to play with on Christmas morning, too. And Nisku Ford has the best toys in.
You really want.
Hockey talent from across the globe is coming to cameras. The Viking Cup returns for the first time in nearly 20 years, December 28th to January 3rd at the Encana Arena. Witness this elite competition between teams from Canada, the USA, and Europe. See the speed, skill, and intensity of world-class hockey right at home. Fully bet packages are on sale now with adult and student pricing available. Get your tickets before they sell out at vikingcup.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Rivers. Fires. He's got a wide open man. Keenan Allen will take it in. Touchdown. Fifth touchdown this season for Allen.
On Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Hurts kids. Throws. Picked it up and picked off. Intercepted. And the Chargers win the ball game.
What a terrific Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you're excited for the game tonight. Oilers taking on the Buffalo Sabres, a team that you almost, to put it into perspective sometimes, you got to, because I'll be honest, I didn't even think it was that long. Like, I knew it was long, but the last time the Sabres made the playoffs, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins wasn't in the NHL. Yeah, that's right. 2010, 2011. That was the order. That was the first year of hope in Edmonton. Remember Hall, Eberle, Harvey, and Omark. Ooh, it's a classic. It's a good acronym. Didn't come to fruition, but it was a good acronym. Oh, at least not instant fruition for sure. But that's how long the Sabres have made the playoffs since that year. And then Nugent Hopkins got drafted a few months later. And since he's been in the NHL, they haven't played in the playoffs. Actually, 92.8% of active NHLers who have played at least 5 games have not been in the league, have played in the league without the Sabres making the playoffs. There's only 57 skaters / goalies who were playing in the league in 2010, 2011. Adam Henrique's one of them, and he only played 1 game then, but he was in the league. Oh, that year, Corey Perry led the NHL in goals with 50 and points with 98. That was the year the Edmonton Oilers finished last in the NHL, 62 points. The Vancouver Canucks finished first in the NHL with 117. Won the President's Trophy, went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and then rided. That's kind of what people remember from 2011. What else happened in 2011? Well, I can tell you. This one, this is when I realized this, I'm like, man, it's kind of a bad time in life. But the terms LOL and OMG were officially added to the Oxford English Dictionary. True story. One of Connor Halley's favorite songs, We Found Love by Rihanna, was the top song. Minecraft, which many of you play, was released. Steve Jobs, Amy Winehouse, Elizabeth Taylor passed away. The final episode of Struddy's favorite daytime show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, aired. And in 2011, it did start something very well. Very good, excuse me. Game of Thrones premiered on HBO 2011. So there you go. Same last time. Nugent Hopkins got drafted. And Nugent Hopkins will play his 980th game tonight. 980 games for Nugent Hopkins. Tonight is the Sabres' 1,105th regular season game without playoffs. Like, that's pain. And the reason I'm saying it, Oilers fans, you remember the decade of darkness. It was brutal. You didn't love it. You didn't have a great time. But you had some good times. The winning the lottery when you had Connor McDavid, you're pretty excited. Heck, you were excited when you got Taylor Hall and Nugent Hopkins and Yakupov. Now they all worked out to different levels. But there wasn't a lot of excitement when you drafted Draisaitl, but it's worked out pretty well. But since then, so the Oilers, they had a decade of darkness, right? And it was awful. The Sabres are coming up on a decade and a half. Like, I have empathy for them. That's brutal. 1,105 games in their season. They still got 50 games left. It's going to be 1,155 by the time the season's over. Ouch. And they're not any closer. That's the worst part. They're 30th in the NHL today. They're dead last in the Eastern Conference. Like, they're showing no progress. It's brutal. Hopefully it changes at some point for their fans, the organization, but I don't know if it will if their owner's running it. I just don't think their owner's committed enough to that team. I think my understanding, I know his wife's quite sick, and I can understand it. I just don't know if he has the time to invest properly into the Sabres because it's not working. The decisions they're making don't work. But the Sabres they're further from the playoffs now than they were 5 years ago. That's the wild part. It's getting worse, not better. So, you know what? They could be in the McKenna. Well, definitely they'll be in the McKenna lottery at the rate they're going. So, Alex Tuck, is he going to re-sign in Buffalo? Like, I know he's from there. He likes it, but my God, would you sign there? It kind of sounded it's like a death sentence. You're doing time. Wake up in the morning, you're last in the standings. It's just kind of what it is if you're the Sabres right now. So, and if you're the Edmonton Oilers, funny thing is, the Oilers, they haven't had a ton of success against the Sabres. Because in the Oilers, when they ended their decade of darkness, and you look at where they've gone the last 9 seasons, the Oilers, well, really, since Draisaitl McDavid came in, they lead the league in in points, first and second. They lead the league in points in the playoffs, first and second. And Oiler fans, after a decade of darkness, you've had a fair amount of success. You get to watch those two. The Oilers have the fourth most playoff wins, right? Fourth most games played in that time. They're at 96. And there's Dallas, Tampa, and Vegas ahead of them, 104, 106, 108. You know, the Oilers make the playoffs this year. They're going to get to 100 for sure. Guaranteed they'll play at least 4 games. So, man, I have some empathy for the Sabres fans. Like, you thought 10 years was long. You're coming up on 15, and it's not getting any better, which is why it leads us to our Play Alberta Play of the Day. The Gregor Show always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And now we have special odds boosts every day under the Jason Gregor Show. And our Friday one, because it took a little bit longer, but it hit. We had the Seahawks winning by 7, and we had the Chargers winning straight up. And they did last night. And so tonight we got 3 different ones for you, all different levels. We have Connor McDavid, 2 points, and the Oilers win by 2. You have another one. Draisaitl scores a goal. McDavid, 2 points. Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, each a point. And our Connor Halley slump buster choice today. Andrew Mangiapane scores a goal. You feel lucky? We shall see. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us in our Ewell inbox. Big win last night for the Chargers over the Eagles. The Chargers come from behind, tie it late, winning in overtime. The Dicker the kicker. It's pretty good, Connor Halley. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the 15 years before that still have me nervous every single time they attempt a field goal. But yeah, he's knocking it through stone cold. Doesn't seem to get too rattled. Jalen Hurts made his fair share of mistakes, and his receivers, notably AJ Brown, let him down a few times. So
yes.
All in all, not the cleanest win, but the Chargers are going to take it because that offensive line stinks, and that could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Hey man, you take the win when you can get it. And it's a huge win when you consider now they're 3 games ahead of the Chiefs, right? That's what's key for them.
That's crazy.
If you're ever worried about it, that to me is what is the exciting part for the Chargers is that, you know, they're 3 games up. Like the Chiefs' odds of making the playoffs are pretty slim right now, pretty slim. And so we'll see where it goes. Other thing today, month of giving. Big shout out again to Jim yesterday on our big bid from A1 Heating. And we got another fantastic package for you today. We're going to help out Santa's Anonymous. Just think of the excitement. How many kids you're going to help get a gift at Christmas? I think many of you can relate to that feeling, whether it's yourself. You probably still, if someone asks you, I don't care if you're 20, 40, 50, 75, what's the favorite gift you got at Christmas? Everybody has one. Comes to your mind pretty easy. GT Snow Racer, still remember, man, it was unbelievable. Walking down, seeing it under the tree was fantastic. It's great. I was 10 years old. Thought just like life couldn't get any better at that time in my life. At that moment, I thought that was the peak of my life. And it was pretty good. So today, you're going to get a package for yourself, especially if you're a sports fan. Something good. It's our fan package courtesy of The Brick. Now, everybody has different choice. Everybody has different styles, right? Maybe you like brown, you like black, you like charcoal, maybe blue. All doesn't matter what kind of furniture you like, type of chair you want, whatever. So we're going to give you a $2,500 gift card from The Brick and a 75-inch LG UHD AI 4K smart TV. This thing is unreal. So you get the $2,500 gift card and the smart TV, courtesy of The Brick. So 833-401-1440. Can do a little, maybe you're, you know what, you got a kid who's moving out of the home and you're like, geez, I don't know what to buy them for their house. Well, hey, you give them a gift card. and go pick out bookends, whatever they want. Whatever they want. Maybe it's just for yourself. You're like, you know what? I got to update the fan cave. Maybe you need a new coach. Maybe you and the spouse have worn it out, so you need a new one. Well, you can get it. And you're going to help out Santa's Anonymous today. It's very simple. Just text in with your name and your bid, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We got a great show for you today. Brian Kodiak will join us. We're going to start off talking about the Sabres. Oof, it's not good, man. Sabres, this is game 4 of their road trip. They've lost the first 3. And they've been giving up a lot of goals on the trip. They come into Edmonton where the Oilers are rested. They're red hot. They got a lot of confidence. Although the Sabres, now not in Edmonton so much, but the Sabres have given the Oilers credit. Despite them not making the playoffs in the last decade, the Oilers haven't won very much against the Sabres. They've only won 8 out of 19 games. It's wild. So we'll talk to Brian Kodiak about the Sabres and where they're going. Ed Hervey, GM of the Elks, will join us. Cody Fajardo, locked in for 1 year. He's got a contract, $405K, and then he's got some bonuses. On top of that, TR will be by. Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM in hour number 2. We got Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning, Struddy, Mark Spector, Derek Van Diest. We'll also hear from Stuart Skinner on some changes. And, is it easier now to make the changes? Because him and Pete have been working on, Pete Aubrey, the goalie coach, just working on some small things and some really good answers from Stu about, kind of where his game's at and things he's working on. We'll take your text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We got a lot of texts in bids. We had Cat Dad at 700, Orcas at 750, and Chris was the first of a few to get in at $1,000. So we're off and running. $1,000. Obviously, we'll get the close face value. It's $2,500 plus a 75-inch high definition 4K smart TV, courtesy of The Brick. It's a fantastic package for you today. Also, we are going to do for the Ben Stelter Foundation. We have actually they're my seats. Auction off my seats, so I know they're good seats because I've sat. Lower bowl where the Oilers attacked twice for tonight's game for the Ben Stelter Foundation for Ben's Cup. So if you want to own those tickets, you can text in as well. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. How about that? All right, pretty sweet. So you can go to the game. You can help out Ben Stelter, big Oiler fan, and that's Ben's Cup is a pretty awesome thing. All the young kids, got a lot of young kids raising some big money. I was looking at that online. That's pretty awesome. So that's great. We'll take a quick break. We'll return to Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy cone hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Hold up. Are you pulling my beard? Booster Juice has 2 new booster balls for the holidays this year.
That's right, Santa. The Eggnog Booster Ball and Caramel Pecan Pie Booster Ball are 2 new flavors to put some extra jingle in your step. So are you a pie guy, Santa, or a nod guy?
Both!
Good call. That's extra jolly. Happy holidays from your friends at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's not lost on me that this radio ad competes with a lot of other dealerships on the air. So what sets us apart? Honesty. At Northgate, we believe in giving you the very best price we can with the most value possible. We aren't giving away free trips or paying off your credit cards, but it is my promise you will get exactly what you paid for every time. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, December 10th to 12th, 8 a.m. Live on-site and online. On offer, core construction, heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids on-site view days and timed auction on now. Sale starts tomorrow. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It is game day. Oilers taking on the Sabres tonight. And if you, based on how these two teams have played recently, the Oilers might get some offense. But when they play the Sabres, well, definitely in Buffalo, they don't have a ton of success at all. And they've had some success recently in Edmonton, but Buffalo is one of the few teams that limit Draisaitl and McDavid to high point totals for the most part. McDavid has 19 points in 17 games, which is one of the lowest of his career. And Draisaitl actually not even a point-a-game player against the Sabres at 18 points in 20 games. Oddly enough, they light up everybody else, but the one team that can't make the playoffs, they've had struggles beating. It's kind of weird. Very weird, to say the least. Now, let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where you can stop in at McD's. I got a few new things for you to try. What about the Grinchiest meal? He's built a worse box with odd socks as a prize and even left behind a Who Hash surprise. Looking to see the Grinch's big reveal? Only at McDonald's and his Grinchiest meal. As Brian Koziel joins us from the Sabres Radio Network. Brian, how you doing?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. The Sabres, on paper at the start of this year, you're like, this team looks like they're an improved team. And here we are, unfortunately for them, and they're basically the exact same team if you look record-wise, and they have been for the last few years at this point, Brian. And I'm sure there's lots of frustration in Buffalo and the fans, the organization, the players. What do you feel has not occurred this year to allow them to improve where they were hoping to improve?
Well, I think they definitely early on got hit with the injury bug very hard. And I know that's going to sound like an excuse, but I'll start there. I don't think ultimately maybe it's in the end what might be the reason for the whole season being if it's heading down the way it's heading. But they started with some injuries. Last year, they make a big trade with Ottawa with Dylan Cousins getting injury-prone Josh Norris back in return as the big piece of that prize. And he starts the season and gets hurt on opening night and just recently returned. Now, when he came back, he had 3 points, 2 goals, and an assist in his first game. Looks like he's been a really, really nice addition to the offense and has sparked the offense in terms of his creativity. So when Josh Norris has played, it's been extremely limited, but so far, at least it seems like maybe there's potential there. But we haven't seen anything long-term that has shown them that he can stay healthy. We know that was a big piece of maybe why Ottawa was willing to let him go in that trade. Probably, though, if I was going to take anything beyond injuries, they've been without Jason Zucker for a while, and ironically enough, he's likely not going to play now here tonight. He hit his ankle really hard against the boards last night against Calgary in the second period. He's been very, very good on the power play for Buffalo. 5 of his 9 goals have come there. He's also been a really, really good spark plug around the net. And I feel like the younger players feed off his energy and his kind of oomph around the net in terms of working hard. That's one thing this team doesn't do all the time is work hard around the net. They maybe create the chances, but then they're not there to finish them because they don't have that, I think, strong ability to really play hard and win those battles in front. But it's been their defense. I mean, if you look at what they've been doing in terms of goals against, they're the worst in the East and one of the worst in the NHL. It's 103 goals against, number 1 in the East in terms of on the bad side of things, worst goal differential. But they're 30th in the league in terms of goals against average, 3.55. That's one thing that Lindy Ruff and GM Kevin Adams talked about over this offseason, that look, we have to get better defensively. They traded J.J. Peterka, a potential 30-goal scorer, sending him to Utah for defenseman Michael Kesselring. Kesselring, again, injury bug. 2 different injuries now that has kept him out for the time. But they do have a lot of talent on the blue line. It hasn't shown up in terms of defense, in terms of good defensive play. All 3 goalies, which is a saga in itself, haven't played well. So I guess I would, if you're looking for me to pinpoint one area, it's still that they can't defend and they can't get good goaltending.
Well, speaking of goaltending, I found it odd when the GM's like, oh, when I talk to the players, they all like it. I've talked to every goalie around the league. I never met one who's like, I love this 3-headed monster. It doesn't, guys aren't playing like Alex Lyon played a lot to start. And now I think I looked, he's made like 2 starts in the last 15 games after starting. I think it was 11 or 12 of the first 17 games. And, you got Luukkonen, you got Ellis. Who's going to start tonight? And is there one goalie that you feel most confident can give them a consistent effort?
So Lindy Ruff hasn't said yet of who's going to be in tonight. I think just because of the travel and everything overnight, they really didn't have any sort of morning announcement of it. My guess is that it's going to be not Luukkonen. It's usually what we try to do when we're trying to guess the goaltenders is figure out, okay, well, who's not going to be in, because there's obviously 3 guys to choose from. Lyon played the third period last night, played okay. He didn't face a ton of shots. He did make a couple of nice saves, so I could see either him or Ellis going in. Luukkonen fought the puck quite a bit last night. He was pulled after 2 periods. That was the reason Lindy Ruff thought that he deserved to come out after it was a 5-3 game after the second period with Calgary in front. This 3-headed monster, I think you're right. It has been a tale of guys aren't able to handle not playing regularly. Alex Lyon played 9 of the first 11 games of the season when Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was hurt. And Lyon, no surprise, played very well on that stretch. Out of those 9 games, I would say 8 of the 9 were very good, or to the point where at the end of the game, we're sitting here saying, well, the goaltender gave you a shot to win at the end of this night. They claimed Colton Ellis off of waivers from St. Louis. They really liked him, and they had to have another goalie in-house to start the season because of the injury to Luukkonen. And they had actually Georgiev in here, and he ended up being sent to Rochester and now going to go off to the KHL. He's had some bad numbers with his time with the Sharks and the Avalanche, so I don't think there was any high expectations of him being any good. But now they bring in Ellis, and he wins his first NHL start, and then he plays 3 in a 4-game span and does very well. He gets a 3-in-1 stretch there, but then again, he has 1 bad game. So then he kind of goes to the bottom of the rotation, and then Luukkonen comes in, and he played 4 of 5 and played his best stretch. It seems like these goalies are playing their best stretch when they're actually able to play and get in the net on a semi to regular basis. But when they come out, it takes a while in this rotation to kind of get him back in. Alex Lyon went 20 days in between games in terms of real action, other than a 6-minute span in Colorado and a game that he was pulled. And Lindy just pulled him just to really give a spark plug to a team that had fallen down 2-0 early against the Avalanche. So Lindy Ruff has publicly said that it is very, very difficult to manage. He says he already is not a goalie coach. He relies on the goalies and the goaltending coaches to really help with his decision-making of who's fresh and who's not, and his analytics department for that. But he already has kind of said, look, it's hard to know who to start when there's 2 sometimes. Now having 3, he knows that it's not the best situation for all of them. And let's face it, all 3 goalies have said, look, when we play more, we're going to play better. So this 3 goalie system, to me, it just can't work well. And also, too, it also is maybe not providing somebody that should be in the lineup that could be, because Buffalo right now has 3 goalies, and they're using up a roster spot on somebody. Noah Ostlund was sent down to Rochester or the American Hockey League just 2 days ago because Buffalo needed an extra D for this road trip, because they were only carrying 6 on the trip because of the injury to Michael Kessling. So now you've got players that are trying to develop that probably have deserved NHL time that are now back in the AHL, and you've got all this back and forth jockeying with the roster because Kevin Adams has kept 3 goaltenders. So as publicly as a head coach is kind of begging for his GM to do something about these 3Ms, I feel like Lindy Ruff has done it at this point.
Yeah, and then you throw in Devin Levi as another guy in the organization. So they've got a lot of goaltending here, and there's lots of teams around. So if you were looking at one, is Alex Lyon the obvious one to move?
I think so. I think that they feel like in terms of the highest ceiling, I think they still, at least of the 3 that's on the NHL roster right now, I think they still think Luukkonen has that. I think that they're still trying to figure out ultimately where Ellis fits, if he has potential to maybe be a number 1 someday, or if he could just be a number 2, or maybe ultimately he's not an NHL goalie. But I think they liked him enough, they were intrigued by him enough to claim him off waivers, that they quite haven't maybe know exactly where he fits in yet. Lyon, I feel like, because he's had tenure elsewhere, had some times here with Buffalo, you kind of know what he is. So I can think that he, even though he wouldn't get you as much if you moved him in a deal that Luukkonen would get you more, I think that would probably be the likely move. And you mentioned Levi, who's been playing in the AHL. Ultimately, in the end, I think they are hoping that he ultimately takes the job from all of them at some point. His development started off very strong. Then he didn't handle the NHL well. He went back to Rochester 2 seasons ago, got down there. We know he wanted to be up. Then last year, he had an outstanding regular season, put up as good at NHL numbers as any goalie in the last 20 years, but then didn't have a good playoff round, didn't really handle the pressure well, and Rochester ended up getting bounced in that American League Calder Cup playoff. So they're not going to – I don't think that Levi is exactly where they need him to be for him to come in and be the number 1 right yet. But ultimately now you've got 4 guys essentially that at any point maybe they could think could rise up and be the 1. I think Luukkonen still would get you the most in a trade if it's amongst the 3 guys, if you're going to move one of them. But I still think they like him the most as of this moment, just because they feel like, he's proven that he can at least play the boatload of being a number 1 goaltender before. But all 3 numbers for the Sabres, in terms of if you want to look at any of the analytics or any of the save percentage or anything like this, none of them have been good. And, it's partially on the goalies because they aren't set up to succeed, in my opinion, right now because of this rotation.
Brian Koziel joins us talking Buffalo Sabres. The other name, Brian, and it's been out there, especially with all the guys who have signed extensions for their teams, and he currently hasn't, Alex Tuch. Now, I know he's from the area. He loves the Sabres, but if they miss the playoffs again, he's looking to say, man, would I sign here long-term? What do you think happens between now and the deadline? Is it either he signs then? If not, they got to trade him?
I think they have to, because I think there's too much value that just letting him go at the end of the season, like that ultimately was what turns out to be the most prized piece of the Jack Eichel trade with Vegas. And if you let him go for nothing, I mean, that trade's just going to look like an absolute colossal failure. It probably already could be argued that it has, because of just the talent level of Jack Eichel. The Sabres themselves, we know, set themselves up to get themselves to be in the position to be in that lottery that year when McDavid and Eichel went 1 and 2 to guarantee themselves to get one of those 2 very, very talented players. You guys obviously all know about McDavid. So, even in some sense, whatever the consolation prize was to landing Eichel, that was supposed to be the franchise-changing moment for this team. And I don't think there was ever a question that Eichel wasn't talented. They added Sam Reinhart, of course, too, to go with Eichel.
Yeah.
Like, that was supposed to be the 1-2 punch. And now they've both been traded. Eichel away to Vegas, Reinhart away with Florida. Ironically enough, they've both won cups very quickly elsewhere with these other teams. The Tuck thing coming back was supposed to be one of the prizes of this Eichel trade. Tuck from Syracuse, from the area, grew up a Sabres fan, always dreamed of putting on this uniform. He has said all the right things. I give him credit. I'm surprised that there hasn't been much more frustration out there. I think there's a piece of it that ownership is saying, well, look, Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin make this number. We don't maybe consider you to be at that level yet. How can we actually offer you more? And then, of course, the easy argument is, well, the cap keeps going up, and look at all these comparable players that are at Tuck's level that are signing for $10 million and $11 million a year. Of course, you're going to make more than Tage Thompson's $7 million per season. Like, that's just what's happening elsewhere. So I got to think that there's a little, battle going on there. I think Kevin Adams, if he sticks around long enough as the GM, and who knows if that's even going to happen to make this work, I still think it's taken too long. He said last year at the end of last season's season-ending press conference that priority one for this team was to get Alex Tuck back here signed. He's a good leader. He does so many good things in the community, on and off the ice. He wants to be a Sabre. And, let's be brutally honest here. How many 30-plus goal players in the NHL, if you did an honest poll that said, I want to play for the Buffalo Sabres, I'll count one, and it's probably Alex Tuck.
Yeah.
So if they screw this up, I mean, for how many times we've sat here and said, is this rock bottom? Is this rock bottom during this drought? I mean, you have a guy that actually is, an all-star level kind of player that wants to be a part of this organization, and you're going to mess this up? Like that to me, that might be the new rock bottom for this organization.
Which leads me to my final question, Brian. When you look at the direction of the organization and where they're going, it's the same owner. And you know what? They got the right guy in Dermott for the Bills, and it really seemed to turn the organization around because they were kind of floundering for a long time as well. And not as long as the Sabres, but pretty long time. And, the Sabres have brought Kevin Adams. This is year number 6. And there's really been no improvement. Year 3, they went up to 91 points, missed the playoffs by a bit, and you're thinking, okay, like they're close. And then they've just gone downhill ever since. They brought in Jarmo Kekalainen. Is he the quasi-GM? What's going on in that relationship? And do you think he will eventually be the GM?
I got to think that it's another couple of losses away here from maybe making it happen that Jarmo would end up being the general manager. I cannot believe that Terry Pegula has let it go this long. I mean, in the National Hockey League, where half the teams make the playoffs every year, and we see teams flip so quickly from going from a bottom-dwelling team to a playoff team. I don't think anybody is saying, well, the Sabres should be in the Stanley Cup Finals right yet. No, that's not what their lineup is. But in the NHL, if you're not at least able to find a way to make the playoffs in now what could be 15 seasons here in a row, I mean, what GM in pro major 4 sports would continue to get the job after 6 years with 0 improvement? They are in last again in the East, where they've been for quite a bit of Kevin Adams' tenure. I still think he didn't do enough. I know Tage Thompson, I don't know necessarily if he publicly meant to say it, but it got out publicly that he didn't think that Kevin Adams did enough to improve this team. He doesn't seem to be able to handle these moments when Buffalo is facing adversity. Last year, they went through a 13-game winless streak. He did nothing. No one was waived. No one was traded. There wasn't even the token, firing of an assistant coach or anything like that to try to shake things up. He then, at the end of last year, said, you know what, upon reflecting at that, I wish I would have done something. This year, they've gone through some very, very poor stretches, and he's been frozen in action here. And this 3-goalie saga seems like something that could be an easy solution that maybe at least is a symbol that the GM is alive and understanding that, hey, where you are in the standings right now is unacceptable. So I'm baffled that Terry Pegula has let it get this long. He's very loyal. He and Kevin Adams have an extremely close relationship, one to the point where I know fans are probably upset to the point that Terry Pegula has Kevin Adams' ear. And there's a lot of fans that say the owner shouldn't be in on hockey-related decisions. We think there's maybe a lot of That's a reason maybe why there isn't some strong president of hockey operations or some former GM that's got a ton of experience, because a lot of times they'll say, I don't care what the owner has to say about this. You tell me what my budget is and I'll go do it, kind of thing. And I don't need to check in with you each day. The Sabres really promote that the GM and the owner talk all the time. I think that's the way Terry Pegula likes it. Clearly right now, this relationship in terms of success on the ice, it's not working at all.
No, not at all. Brian, thanks so much for the rundown, man. We appreciate it. We will chat with you again soon. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game tonight.
There you go. That is Brian Koziel joining us. From Buffalo, the Sabres, 14 years without the playoffs. Today, on December 9th, they are dead last in the Eastern Conference. Again. And it's kind of getting worse, in fact, for them. So we will see how they fare tonight. You're the Edmonton Oilers. You did not feel sorry for the Winnipeg Jets. They were tired, and you just said, okay, we'll spank them. They did. Got to have the exact same attitude tonight. I would expect a quick start again for the Edmonton Oilers. And honestly, I think this is going to be another fairly decent win for the Edmonton Oilers tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. Check out our picks at playalberta.ca. We'll take a quick break. We'll update you on our month of giving. We got a few questions on that. You know what? When the audience asks questions, sometimes they'll say, hey, can you change the rules? Well, we might. We'll do that when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by playalberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tall Boy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right. So Santa called up his pals at Legacy Heating. And ho, 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 golly gee, 1 year, no payments, interest-free. And the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Five-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints are excited to be back on the ice at the brand new Thompson Family Arena. Be part of the action and enjoy some of the best junior hockey Canada has to offer by experiencing a Saints game for your next outing. Tickets range from $10 to $17 with free parking and some of the best food and drink specials in town. For more information on tickets and how you can become a partner, go to sgsaints.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and people often ask me, hey, Rick, do people actually buy RVs from No Bull in the fall?
Fair question, Rick. Why would you want to buy an RV just when it's time to put it away in storage for the winter?
And I have the answer, Bob, because the RVs at No Bull are used, and that means every RV on our lot is a one-of-a-kind. So when you're looking for a used RV, you can be really picky.
One of a kind means you don't have to compromise on what you're looking for.
That's right, Bob. But it also means when you find the right one, you grab it up before someone else does. Sometimes that's in the fall, but No Bull makes it easy because when you buy your used RV now, we include winterization and winter storage for free. We even get it prepared for spring camping at no charge to you. All you need to do is be ready for the great outdoors come next spring. When you think of it that way, the fall might be the best time to get your RV.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:45. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We're up to 13. Well, we're at 1250 with Chris. Now we're up to 1350 for our package today. Still well below, but hey, it's all good start. We got a $2,500 gift card at the Brick. Buy whatever you wish. Lots of you, I know at some point you need appliance, furniture, mattresses, TV, anything. Goes towards that in any color you like. And you get a 75-inch LG UA70 4K smart TV. Unreal package. So if you're looking for a fan cave, maybe you need some upgrades in your house, just remember, the Brick has everything from, you want maybe a leather recliner on a sofa. They all have recliners. You can save $2,500 towards anything you want in the store. And then you get the 75-inch top of the line TV to make the fan cave look even better. Mike is up to $1,500. Now, we got this text in, and you know what? I'm open for suggestions. Hey, Gregor, I know you've done it in the past, and I heard you had 2 pairs of tickets. What if you just do that? Get 5 guys to put in $100, and then you draw the names for the tickets. You know what? Today, because you asked, I'll do it. So the first 5 people who want to text in that you're in the draw, we'll only have 5. And we got 2 pairs of tickets, so you got a 2 in 5 chance of winning. Right? If you want in, it's $100. It's going to go to, now you got to make your donation. It's going to go to Ben Stelter Foundation of Ben's Cup. I can send you the link, and away we go. So yeah, we'll take the first 5 who want to put in $100. That's fair. I like that. It's a pretty good deal. And away we go. So we'll have 2 different pairs. Now, you can only win 1 pair. Okay, so if you draw your name first, we're not going to be greedy and have you go back in and and win again. So if you want in, 833-401-1440. There you go. And Ali came in at 1,700, DJ's in at 2,000, and now Tim's up to 2,500. All right, now we're starting to go a little bit. So we got the GC covered. Now we got that massive 75-inch TV. Okay, so we're up to 25. I like it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And we already have 2 spots in, so we only have 3 left for the $100. If you want to get in, 3 more people put in 100 bones, you go into the draw, and you could win a pair of seats tonight's Oilers-Buffalo game, which could see some offense. Now, let's get to our football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. It's going to get really cold. You're going to want a furnace. LegacyHeating.ca, as we are joined by the general manager of the Edmonton Elks, Ed Hervey, on the show. Ed, welcome back, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Big day. You guys inked the contract of Cody Fajardo. Not a huge shock, I don't think, when I look at how many vacancies there were in the league. And, obviously you like his leadership. Kind of when you look at Cody, what do you like most about him as a quarterback?
I think with Cody, there's many things. He's a proven winner. His locker room presence. He runs the offense with a calm. Guys follow him. He's a gamer. He's had success in this league, and again, right? He's probably one of those underrated, underappreciated quarterbacks that our league has seen over the years. Where, does he have the biggest arm? Probably not, but his intangibles make him so valuable that put in the right situation, he can win games for you. And I think the biggest part of his game also is the fact that he commands respect. The players in the room respect him, they like him, and I'm talking about both sides of the football. So, there's just so much to appreciate about him, and he just shows that he's had a long career in this league, and there's more than one way to be successful in this league, and he's proven that.
Yeah, well, no, and he comes in, he's going to know the offense. We had Coach Killam on, and he talked about what he learned as a head coach his first year, and things he'll do different just from a learning experience. Until you're in the role, you don't necessarily know everything. You make some mistakes, you live and learn with it. You look at your offense, Ed, and the need to. Do you think your offense overall can be more aggressive?
I think can it be more aggressive? I think, we're looking for all the ways to improve, right? First down efficiency is probably the biggest question that we've had around here is, just being able to get positive yards on first down. But I know the offensive guys, they're always working hard, and they're in there trying to find ways to do it. And whenever we've had success on first down, we were able to, do stuff with drives and be able to sustain drives. It's been when we had trouble on first down is when we had the most trouble. When we're talking about aggressive, some would say aggressive is pushing the ball down the field. Some would say that aggressive is going for it on third down. There's many ways to answer that, but I think with respect to our offense, I don't think that, could be a little more aggressive in certain situations. I would say, there's a possibility, but I think in the other side of that is it's tough when you're in second and long as much as we were last year. So that's an area that we definitely need to improve.
So how do you feel? Is that play calling? Is it execution? Combination of both?
No, I think we just, it's a little bit of everything, right? I don't know if it's you can pinpoint on one. We've had our discussions, so I'm not saying anything that hasn't been discussed internally, and I don't think that anyone's going to feel slighted by anything that you and I talk about here on the air. Sometimes it's execution, sometimes the wrong call at the wrong time. Those type of things happen, right? And when the defense has a key, and at times when they have, they get paid as well. But when we're put in a situation where we're in, a tough second down, it makes it tough to sustain drives. And we're spending a lot of time discussing. Mark and I were talking about it this morning. There's just a major emphasis on changing many things, the details of some things, but our first down, having more success on first down and doing some things differently there is a point of emphasis. And I expect the offense to have a better showing going into next year. And I think that's going to help us have more success as far as the offense is concerned coming out in the short term.
You had a young team in lots of areas of your position, specifically on defense. A young secondary due to injuries, some young D linemen due to injuries, some young linebackers. And I really thought your defense took some big strides as the season went along. Coach Killam admitted that, the playbook will be a lot bigger to start the season, especially defensively, because have a lot of guys now in second and third year on the defense. What did you see from your vantage point, Ed? Obviously, I know you've been scouting and watching. Did you notice that significant change? And do you feel historically that will carry over and, the defense, won't need as much time to kind of figure things out? Like they were playing way off the ball early on in the year, and then, they started to get up the line of scrimmage a lot more as the season went along.
I think again, when we put the roster together and we went into camp, we knew that there was one thing that we didn't have that everyone else had going into their training camps was continuity on both sides of the ball. Continuity in coaching staff, continuity with the defensive scheme, and the players having an opportunity to play in it. There was a level of trust that wasn't there. You can see it. The guys would know their responsibilities, but you got to trust that the guy next to you is going to perform and do the things he needed to do. And as the course of the season went along, you started to really see the guys communicating, talking, and really understanding the defense and understanding what JC and his staff was trying to get them to do and execute. And it was really good to see that start to come together. We sustained some injuries. We were young, guys seeing the CFL for the first time. Those are the growing pains that you come to expect when you go into it saying we're going to be a young team, we're going to flip the roster, and the only way that you can gain experience is by playing. So, those guys, our defense went out there. They did the best they could at the outset. It wasn't for lack of effort. It wasn't for lack of trying. It was just a level of comfort that it took some time for the players to get comfortable with. And as the season went on, we started to see the defense turn the corner and really start to make the plays that we expected them to make from the outset.
Ed Hervey joins us, general manager of the Green and Gold. Ed, you've made a lot of signings. You've been able to keep a lot of the guys I think that you wanted to keep on your team, both offensively and defensively. Free agency's around, and sometimes you can go big in free agency, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Are you going to be less active in free agency this year compared to last?
I don't know if it's less active. I think last year, because the roster needed so much, we needed an infusion of high-end Canadian players. We needed some depth in the front line and experience in those areas. This offseason, we have a chance to really look at the roster and having a chance to have seen the roster play under our coaching staff and has to be around the guys all season. Now we're back to making football moves, right? We're building our foundation. We're building the foundation for sustained success. We're looking at areas where we can improve the opportunities. Is there a player in-house? Is there another opportunity for our young group to take that next step? Do we go into free agency and explore the market that way? This is more strategic in the sense of addressing areas for the roster where we see there's opportunity. Does that mean going in and big splash? I don't think it necessarily means that this time around. I think it's really about the fit. And when you start talking about the fit, you're starting to really get to the point to where your team is, you feel comfortable with what you have. You feel good about where the direction of the roster is going. And it's, our roster as we move forward and the moves that we make going forward are going to be aligned with our long-term vision of having long-term success here. And we want to make certain that we are selecting the right players for us and not lose track of the fact that we're entering year 2, and we expect a leap from our roster and a leap from the entire, what we're doing, but also ensuring that, we don't just throw caution to the wind and grab anyone and it doesn't work out. And, we take a step back. We're looking to take a major step forward in 2026.
Looking at free agency, and if I look at the offensive line, there's not a ton of high-end Canadian offensive linemen available, which isn't surprising. If you have a good one, usually you want to keep it. When you look at your roster flexibility, you had a lot of starting Canadians last year. Could you go out and sign another American and then slot him in as a starter and still have the ratio of flexibility you want at the other Canadian positions?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jason. We have that flexibility to do that if we chose to go that path, and those are all discussions that are happening internally. Is how do we want to approach our offensive line? It's been specifically looking at it, and I mean we have some guys here that we like and that have done some good things. We're wondering if some guys are out of position. Should they be back? Like Mark Corte, should Mark Corte be at center? We have those discussions that are happening, and then we're looking at if that is the case, then what do we want to do at the guard position? Is it an American? We have the flexibility on the roster, so the opportunity may be there. But again, those are ongoing conversations that we're having. But we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that we address these areas to get major improvement, because we feel like we're on the cusp of doing something special here.
And the quarterback position, you got your starter in Cody Fajardo. Trey Ford is still under contract. You got a few other young guys in the organization. Just looking at Cody Fajardo's numbers and salary wise and Trey Ford's contract. Would a renegotiation be possible, Ed? Have you even broached that subject? Kind of what's up with Trey Ford, I guess, my question.
Yeah, we've been, pretty much focused on, getting the Cody stuff done here in the last little bit, and that's fresh off of getting done late last night. With respect to Trey, we haven't got a chance to talk with Trey. I mean, he's done a great job, during his time here. But we have to reach out to his people and really talk. I mean, obviously, the economics of our cap, are what they are, and we understand that. So when we commit to Cody, obviously, we have to look at the Trey's salary and Trey's contract and talk about that internally and how that looks and how that fits and what's the next step there. So we haven't got to the point where we've had a chance to reach out and talk to him. I think he's in Europe. But those are conversations that will come about here in the next little while, and we'll see where it goes from there.
And lastly, looking at the kind of the next phase for your team, Ed, it was year one. You've done this job for many years. I looked at your year one the first time you were at the Green and Gold, and then you guys kind of took off. And if you evaluate where the season was, obviously if you don't make the playoffs, it's disappointing. But how did you view this season overall as a group, and what you liked and maybe some areas you want to see the team improve?
Yeah. And I think I want to make something clear, right? Like when we're competing, we're playing, we want to make the playoffs. We're competing to make the playoffs, and we're disappointed as a competitor, disappointed, someone who hates to lose, want to make the playoffs and go and compete for the championship and win. But we also know that this wasn't a short-term fix either. And I deal in reality with respect to that. And, everything that we do is, from player acquisition to player development is with the intent of building a championship level roster. And going into this season, we that's where our mindset is. But coming out of last year, laying the foundation for the kind of people we want in this organization, the kind of coaches we want, players, support staff. I think that was a big part of it. And that doesn't show or reflect in our record. It reflects in what we have and what the confidence that I have in what we have going on here inside this organization. And, if there was any example of the kind of people that we have, the resiliency of the roster itself was how they played specifically, here at home. They made the Commonwealth entertaining place for fans to come. We won games. We snapped a streak or two here and there. We won more games at home than we've lost. Trying to get back to the the dominance that we're accustomed to here. The way I look at last year, was laying foundation for our our future success and something to build on going forward.
Ed, always good to catch up with you. We appreciate. Hey, give me your thoughts quickly because I know you're a big basketball fan. What do you make of OKC?
About who?
OKC, the Thunder. Can the Lakers beat them?
Well, anyone can beat anyone, Jay. You know that, right? Now we're talking about a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to always root Lakers. They're tough. OKC is tough now. They're really good, but until the Lakers are knocked out, it's Lakers all the way.
All right. Well, that's totally fair. They how much what kind of an impact do you think when it gets back to kind of game conditioning do you think LeBron's going to have?
I think LeBron showed the other night against Philly that he still has it, right? I think he's unique, right? He's unique. He's is he the player that he once was? No, but he is 40 plus years old, and those of us when we hit 40, could you imagine doing some of the stuff that he's doing? So I think he's playing at a high level, much higher level than most guys his age would, including those who are in the sport. Can he be he still has a high basketball IQ, but he's no longer the primary guy, and he's accepted that role. And I think that's going to be the biggest advantage for the Lakers is the fact that he's embraced that. He's embraced the fact that he doesn't have to be the primary guy. And I think the pressures of having to score 10 points and keep that streak alive, I think that is, again, another one of those pressures that's no longer there, and he can play freely, even more freely now, because he doesn't really have to worry about that. But do I think he can still average 18 points? Absolutely, because he's an elite basketball player.
Ed, always good to catch up with you, man. We'll talk to you again soon, and if I don't, all the best to you and yours. Very Merry Christmas.
Have a good holiday to you too.
There you go. That's Ed Hervey, GM of the Elks. So Cody Fajardo in. Hey, the reality of the cap situation, man. They're, unless Trey Ford renegotiates his contract, which I would probably like. If I'm Trey Ford, you probably just say, hey, you know what? Maybe just give me a release, and they'll move on and go somewhere else. I think Winnipeg might be looking. Could see Toronto, possibly, maybe Ottawa. Toronto now with Jim Barker, that changes it, right? They're going to have a new direction there. So I think wherever Trey Ford goes, I think he needs a quarterback coach who's a really good quarterback developer. I think that would help. Like if I was him and I'm looking at teams, I'm looking at, okay, I want an opportunity to play, but who's the guy that's going to help me refine my game? That's what I would be looking at. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, we have one spot left for the $100 donation, then it's full. So if you want in $100, we got some pairs of tickets. You got a 1 in 5, well, actually 2 in 5 chance to win because we got 2 pairs of seats. So 833-401-1440. You can text in, say that you'll want to make the $100 donation. Then we'll update you on the month of giving and more. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Where, hey, at Fountain Tire, they are more than just tires. They get you all your car needs. With their digital vehicle report, they don't just tell you what your car needs, they'll show you. Book your appointment at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers taking on the Buffalo Sabres down at Rogers Place. Puck drop just after 7. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker gets going at 6 right here on Sports 1440. Elsewhere, you got the Preds and the Avs. The Jets take on the Stars. Bruins in St. Louis. Penguins host the Ducks. Flyers up against the Sharks. Golden Knights in New York take on the Islanders. And the Sens host the Devils. In the association, you've got quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. Raptors taking on the Knicks at 6:30 at 4. Magic host the Heat. In the AJ, earlier today, Kodiaks fell to the Thunder 4-2 tonight at 7. Wolverines in Bonnieville. In the BWHL, Ottawa taking on Vancouver just after 8. Elks news, signing quarterback Cody Fajardo through the 2026 season. The 33-year-old threw for just over 3,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in 13 starts. And 44-year-old Philip Rivers unretiring to sign with the Colts after both Daniel Jones and Ryder Leonard were injured in Sunday's game against the Jags. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM NHL and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a lineman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known
Connor Halley,
as
Sports 1440.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Will Hawk beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Will Hawking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at
Yeah,
780-986-2537.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Your New Year's Eve plans just got a major upgrade. On the Rocks is throwing the ultimate party to launch you into the new year with a bang. The legendary Tall Boy is hitting the stage live, providing the soundtrack for an unforgettable night. A 3-course dinner is available to kick things off before the main party starts. This is how you celebrate New Year's Eve. Dinner and a party tickets are available now. Book your spot online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.311, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It is game day. Oilers taking on the Buffalo Sabres tonight. No lineup changes for the Oilers from last game. Stu Skinner will start in goal. Oh, no, that's, I guess, Pickard played the last game. What am I saying? Duh. So it'll be Stu Skinner in goal tonight. Same defense, same forward lines. The Oilers, Clattenburg, not cleared yet to skate, so they don't have any other healthy forwards right now. Noah Phillips getting closer. I watched him again today. He's flying around out there, doing anything in practice. He's eligible to come off of LTIR on Friday. That's when it would be the 24 days and 10 games. So his first game he could play would be Saturday. Now, just based on what they've done to other players coming off injury this year, we've seen a few guys come back, Zach Hyman and others, when the Oilers were in the midst of a back-to-back situation and they didn't play the first game, they played them the second game. I get it. You guys out. Do you want to put him in on back-to-backs for his first two games? Probably not. So if they do this now, could they do Phillips Saturday and then another one? Yes. But I could see them saying, well, we'll just wait another day. And then they'll do it on Sunday. We'll see if he gets all the clearance from the doctors. So that's where it's at. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. If you oh no, I was right. Yeah, one of my Skinner did play Saturday. Konzo's Pickard played on Thursday, so I was right. Jeez, I'm losing my mind here. Anyway, we will hear from Stuart Skinner momentarily, talking about when things are going well, you can almost maybe you can work on other things. You trust your situation a little bit better. We'll get to that. We also have one spot left, so it's there's 5 people. 4 have done it for Honor Bones. And one more at 100, and we have 2 pairs of tickets that are in the draw, and so you'll have a 2 out of 5 chance to win a pair of seats for tonight's Oiler game, and the money's going to the Ben Selter Foundation. So big Oiler fan himself was Benny, and of course his family, and they got the Ben's Cup, which is going on just after Christmas. Man, it's a great little fundraiser. Lots of kids raising money to play in that tournament. They do a lot of cool things out there. So if you want in. 2 for 4 chance, and you can help out the Ben Selter Foundation. Way you go. Just send us a text with your name, and then we'll send you the link on where you donate. And it's pretty simple. So one more spot, and then we'll do that draw. Also, month of giving continues on today, and we have a really great package courtesy of The Brick, where you'll get a $2,500 gift card from The Brick. Buy whatever you want. Couch, mattress, chairs, TV, book, whatever you need. They got it all. Maybe a leather recliner. Oh, doesn't want that, man. I love the recliners. God, they're so good. Sit now. They're dangerous because if you sit in it, when you recline that bad boy, lots of times, unfortunately, you're almost admitting that you're not going to get through the movie. You just get too comfortable. And they got a lot of good ones. So you got a $2,500 GC and a 75-inch LG 4K smart TV. It's actually LG UHD AI UA70 for all those who are really technical on the televisions. So that's where we're at, 833-401-1440. And Tim has it at $2,500 right now. So not at retail value yet, but we're about, 2/3 of the way there. So it's good. We got a lot of time left. Lots of time. So if you need to upgrade to your fan cave, you're looking for a new television, get a fantastic deal, and you help out Santa's Anonymous and lots of kids who will just get a simple gift for Christmas, which would be awesome. Now, let's get to the Oil Report brought to you by Go Auto. They know you're in the community. They love giving back to the community to the tune of $24 million. They have helped out in the community where they live and reside and where you are. That is goauto.ca. And we'll hear from Stuart Skinner on, the being back home, having time for some rest and just the biggest value he sees in being home here for this team that looks a little rejuvenated and refreshed.
Yeah, I think it was very much needed just to get a little bit of rest. There's a couple days in between games, which was nice just to get our legs back. It's obviously everyone, it's time to get sick. So for us, just trying to stay as healthy as possible has been huge too. So this time at home, being with the kids, being with the family, getting a little bit of rest really helps our immune systems too, obviously. So I think it's been very important, and just being able to get some wins here too is crucial. Every homestand, you get an opportunity to get wins and try to claw back. So this has been big, and we just got to continue that.
Then I asked Skinner about him and new goalie coach Pete Aubry. They've been working on some subtle changes to his game. And I asked him, the things you're working on, now, the team's not giving up as many high danger chances, right? Everybody's playing better. So is it easier to work on the things and try to implement them in your game now?
Maybe. That's a good question. I think no matter what, you're always going to work on those things, and those things take time, and more so in practices. You try to not think so much when you're playing. Obviously, I think that's kind of the thing. Just at beginning of seasons, there's a couple new things to incorporate, a couple new things to work on. Did a lot of that in the summer and the beginning of the season, obviously. And again, it's just finding that balance between when to do it and when not to. And we've been finding a really good balance with that, I think, all year. And that's a huge credit to Pete. He's helped me out a lot. Yeah, you look at the season and the things that, things always kind of pop up here and there too, So after a game, maybe there's something to look at, maybe there's not. And then you just kind of go from there and, have little tweaks here and there. But this time of the season, where we're at the point that I'm at, just as us as a goalie tandem in there, I think you do simple things. I think that's kind of the biggest thing for us that we've been trying to really just a place for us to be.
And then I asked him, when the team is winning, do you trust the changes you're trying to make more?
I think so, yeah. I would totally agree. When things maybe aren't going well, or you're letting a couple goals, or the game isn't going the way that you maybe want to, that's kind of the fault of just doing something for so long. So yeah, you definitely. I mean, Pete and I, we chuckle sometimes watching some video, and I just kind of look at him and I'm like, I did it again, like did what I used to, even though maybe it didn't go, maybe it wasn't the fault of the goal or anything like that. You still make the save, but you still look at each other and you're like, hey, like I could do better in that scenario. Go back to what I'm trying to do now. And it's just doing it over and over and over again. That's how you get into a new habit. So, I'm finding my way in those new habits, and I think I've been doing a great job. And to your point, when you start getting wins and you start playing really good hockey, I think it gives you a little bit more of that trust and more of that feel of just like, okay, I can kind of play the game this way. I can kind of do this. I can do that. So it's that's kind of the fun in this whole game, right? Is you get to try some things out. You get to work on some things and find out what's truly best for you as an individual.
There you go, Stu Skinner. You know what? I always get an insightful response from Stu. That's what I like. He doesn't just give you the whole hum stuff. He'll try to give you a little insight into kind of how it's going and what you're thinking. And when everything's better when you win, and especially when you're winning. And like he said, he goes, man, you know what? Like your habits, and you've had habits, and so you're trying to change those habits. And every now and then in a game, you move the way that you're like, hey, we don't want to move that way. And even if it doesn't result in a goal, those are probably the best times. Because you're like, okay, I noticed it. There's another situation. Then you tell yourself, okay, let's stop doing it. But as anybody knows, any type of habit is hard. I would think as a goalie, if you're used to just moving one way, to want to trust and gain yourself, okay, I don't want to move it that way all the time. I would think that's probably difficult at times for sure. Hey, Greg's Rob Ray talked to generally things are turning around in Buffalo from Steve. Wow. He can say it, Steve, but I don't know. Let's just look at the reality. Here they are. It's December 9th, and they are in last place in the East, and they are 8 points out of a playoff spot. So that means not only are they last, there's 7 teams between them and the final playoff spot, right? So quickly, as I'm talking to you, I'm looking it up to see, okay, where were they, at this time last year, right? And I'm going to try to get the same number of games played for the Buffalo Sabres. And last year at this time, they had 26 points. Exact same. Now, the difference is Montreal was a point behind them. So they weren't in last. They were in second last. And then if I'm looking at the Eastern teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they were 4 points out. So last year, 26 points, 4 points out of the playoffs. This year, 26 points, 8 points out of the playoffs. How can I say it's better? Honestly, like, look at where they are, goals against as a team. They're 30th. How's it better? Like, you can say it, but I'm sorry. It's not accurate. And he can try to will it to happen, but it's not accurate. So we will we'll see where the future holds for the Sabres. And I want them to, I like Buffalo. I really do. I got a Buffalo Sabres t-shirt, man. Team Tage Thompson on the DFO rundown. I've been that way for a while. I like it, but I'm sorry. Like this, it's a results-driven league, and I don't see a lot of them at all. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Dave McCarthy will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and sadly some people think orthotics are just glorified shoe cushions. But I've seen a runner drop 8 minutes off her marathon, a grandmother ditch her painkillers, and a 12-year-old nail her long jump, all thanks to custom foot orthotics. So if your feet are screaming for help, flat, high, or funky, that pain's heading to your knees, hips, even your lower back, our professionals will assess you and, if indicated, custom fabricate a pair of orthotics made just for you. Happy feet make a happy person. Feet shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
327. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. It's going to get a little bit chilly, so be sure to have a blanket in your vehicle. Like, no joke. Like, it's gross cold coming up for a few days, starting tomorrow and then into overnights of minus 30. So, get your gloves on. Have something in your car, because the last thing you want is to be stranded in weather like that. And let's make sure we help out anybody if we see them stranded. That would be great. And speaking of helping out, we got our 5 people in, so we'll do that draw coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. 2 of you will be going to the game. Nice. Also, let's remind you, it's a month of giving today. We're at $2,500. And we always like to get face value. So we got a $2,500 gift card, courtesy of the Brick. Okay. But we also have a 75-inch LG UHD AI UA70 4K Smart TV. I'm not even sure what the UA70 means. I don't know. But all I know, it's unreal. I was looking at it, I was watching it, everything. The televisions now, like, younger generation, you're so spoiled, man. Like, how many of you remember the old brown boxes you used to have? They didn't have the remote, right? They had the rabbit ears, depending on your era. Somebody had to get up, change the channel on the knob. Just back then, there was like 13 channels to start. Not a lot. How times have changed. Now we got so many channels, we don't even use them, right? Like, how many of you look at and I've got all these channels, I might use 9 of them. Maybe. I know that's me for sure. Like, if I probably went through the channels I've never watched, I'd have more that I've never watched on my package than I have watched. Funny enough. So you get the great TV and a $2,500 gift card at the Brick. And currently that is at $2,500. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Tim currently has it at $2,500. So let's pick that up. We're helping out Santa's Anonymous today, and that's an unreal charity. Helps lots of kids just get one gift at Christmas, which is amazing. Let's go in the room now. Brought to you by Action Electrical, where they are hiring 2nd, 3rd, 4th year electricians. If you need a spark, it's a place to go. Send your resume to careers@actionelectrical.net as Dave A. McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us as he always does on Tuesdays. Davey, how you doing, my man?
I just happened to jump on the weather app when you were detailing the level of cold that's coming your way in Edmonton the next. Oh baby, dude, that is down bad cold. You guys are real ones out there.
Yeah, minus 35 of 38 overnight. That is.
How about the high of minus 20 on Thursday? The high.
I know that's not great. I mean, not great. So that's when everybody knows. That's when you're sprinting to your vehicle, like as quick as you can. And how many people I know that, like, I never had a garage until I got married. Never had a garage, and it's fine. I grew up in the farm. Like, my parents, my mom parked in the garage, and that was really it. The rest we parked outside. So that's all I knew. But so I remember you get out, you scrape the window, you're freezing. Like, there's times as a young man, did I drive with the window rolled down just because so it didn't fog up in the inside because it was so cold? Yes, I did. It's not the safest way, but times have changed. Back then, you didn't necessarily always have the best defrost. So just kind of
no. You get cars every now and again in Ontario that have the little plug in the engine. And I always remember growing up. I always remember growing up being like, "What do you use that for? You don't need that. That's for when you go to Alberta, buddy. That's for when you go to Alberta."
Yeah, the old block heater, buddy. It's I remember when I was 25, we went on holidays to Mexico, and we were sitting at the bar. We met some people from the States, and they're talking about, well, like, how cold is it there? I'm like, well, it's so cold you got to plug your car in. And they're like, pardon? I'm like, yeah, you got to plug your car in so it starts.
Where were they from the States though? Because
they're from Cincinnati.
All right, like that can be cold there. Like, it's not. Yeah. It's not palm trees in Cincinnati.
No.
Like, you look at the weather right now. Like, Milwaukee doesn't look that great.
No, it's true. There's areas. Yeah.
So when some of the Americans give us the old, it's like, or like, NBA players, I can't come to Canada. Oh, you want to go to Milwaukee? Fine, be my guest. So you think it's better in Milwaukee than Toronto? Okay, fine. That's up to you. But I'd rather live in Toronto than I would Milwaukee, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, no, that's it's true. Now, speaking of a place you want to live, man, place you want to play, the Buffalo Sabres are in town tonight. And the Sabres have missed the playoffs. Like, I did the math, Dave. There is 7.2% of players. Oh, sorry. 92.8% of players currently in the NHL, active players, who have never played in the league when Buffalo made the playoffs. There's only 57 skaters who were in the league in 2010-11. That's it.
That's
right?
outrageous.
Yeah, I'm like, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins wasn't even drafted the last time the Sabres made the playoffs. He got drafted 2 months later, right? Like, wild. And like, I like the Sabres. Like, I've always had a few players that you're like, okay, I like their jersey, like their colors, but God, like they're in dead last again. And I know that, oh geez, well, they're closer. No, they're not. No. Last year, at this point, they had exactly 26 points, but they were only 4 points out of a playoff spot. This year, they got 26 points, and they're 8 points out of a playoff.
Yeah. Look, I love going to games in Buffalo. I feel bad for the good people of North Tonawanda. They deserve good things because, my goodness, they've got a great fan base down there. The whole vibe is cool. I really like games in Buffalo. But you want to talk about fan bases that have been through it. Like, I can't think of a team, certainly in hockey, but there are few in pro sports outside of hockey that can rival the pain that the Buffalo Sabres fan base has endured. I wasn't even in this business regularly the last time they made the playoffs. I don't know the Buffalo Sabres in the playoffs while I'm in this business. It's been that long. They got caved in by Calgary last night. Like, Calgary's not great. They scored 7 on Buffalo. So I think there's such an enigmatic team because you look at their roster and they've got some nice pieces. Like, it shouldn't be this bad. But you look at Tage Thompson, Tuck, Norris. Their third line shouldn't be terrible with like Ryan McLeod, Jack Quinn. Their blue line should be a strength of their team with Dahlin and Samuelson and Byram and Power. Timmins isn't terrible. Bryson isn't. But nothing ever works there. So what I think has happened in Buffalo is that losing has become acceptable. The culture is not good. And what they need to do is bring someone in at the top to totally reset the expectations within that organization. That's what they need to do, but I don't think the owner is willing to do it. I've heard from certain sources that, there are some executives out there that would like to take on the challenge of Buffalo, but have no interest in doing it with the ownership that is in place. And that goes to show you, I think, a lot of the reason as to why Buffalo is where they are. Losing has become tolerable there. And you get into this time of the year, and then it's Groundhog Day yet again, and then the season just slips away from you. So, and if Terry Pegula was smart, and look, obviously the guy knows how to make money. He was very successful in business. I do not think he is an intelligent hockey executive. The track record goes to show you that he's not. If he was smart, he would hire somebody with pedigree, like Brendan Shanahan, that type of a guy. Install him and then promise, if you ever see my name come up on this, you can walk out the door immediately. I will give you all of your money and there will be no questions asked. Because that's the only way you're going to get anybody with any pedigree in there to reset that organization. But they are deeply in need of a full-scale reset. Otherwise, I don't see it changing. How much longer can you continue to do the same thing year after year, time and again, and expect different results? They've tried it for over a decade. Over a decade. What is this, the fourth rebuild? And here we are again.
Yeah, this is year 6 of Kevin Adams, and there's been no improvements at all. They're actually gotten worse than where they were when he took over, which is wild. Now, the Eastern Conference is obviously very close. You win 2 or 3 games, you go from second last up to being a point out of the playoffs. So I don't know if there's any really good teams in there. There's a lot of competitive teams, but like there's no Colorado or Dallas or top team. And I would argue even, Edmonton's found their stride in Vegas. Like I might argue the 4 best teams in the NHL right now reside in the West, because Florida, I know they're the 2-time defending champ, but they're not close to what they are due to injury, and Bob's not playing very well in goal. So Dave, you watched a lot of the East. Is there a team that you say, hey, you know what? I think this team is the best suited to be the best team?
Yeah. No, I agree with you that the East is totally open-ended. Like you look at Carolina, they're perpetually a pretty good team. I don't trust their goaltending, both in terms of their reliability when they're in the net and their reliability to remain in the net. So I have questions there, and I don't think they're big enough. I still think they need to add some size to that lineup. They've got still too many of the same players. Washington, I am impressed with Washington, to be honest with you. I thought they might take a bit of a step back this year after the season they had last year when everything kind of broke their way and they had the Ovechkin chase propelling things along and kind of got off to an up and down start. But, man, they've been good lately. 8 wins in their last 10. They really seem to be coming together as a group. I like the elements that they have there. So, to me, if I had to pick a team from the Metro Division, it would be Washington at this point. And that is surprising to me because, like I said, I thought coming into the year they could take a step back, but nobody really has stood up from that division. Jersey got off to a great start, and then Jack Hughes did whatever the hell he did at dinner and can't play. And now their team has fallen apart. And I think they rely so much on their top players in Jersey when he goes out of the lineup, they're in deep trouble. So, I can't put them in that class. The Rangers are inconsistent. They generally can't score at home. The Islanders, they've been a nice story. If we had a playoff series between Washington and the Islanders, I'd pick the Capitals, I should say, and probably fairly easily. So I think Washington is a team in a Metro. And even though Tampa Bay in the Atlantic has lost 4 in a row now, they've been shut out on 2 consecutive nights. John Cooper said last night that he was a little disappointed. He thought they took a step back in their game against the Leafs on Monday where they lost 2-0. They got Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov back, but neither guy was really a factor in the lineup. Vasilevsky's on IR now. Maybe by the end of the road trip, we'll see. When they're healthy, I still like the look of their lineup. I think they've got parts that have shown the ability to get it done when it matters. I thought they played really well up until this past week when they've gone into the tank, despite a significant amount of injuries. I think they deserve a lot of credit for that, and John Cooper as well for getting the team to this point. Despite the fact they've lost 4 in a row, they're only a point out of the division lead right now. So they're in pretty good shape. Detroit's not there. Boston, a little bit of fool's gold to me, I think, at this point. I don't think they're as good as they seem. Toronto is coming. They've played much better of late. So if I had to look right now in the East, I'd say Tampa, Toronto, and Washington is my top 3 teams.
The New Jersey Devils, yeah, they got obviously some injuries, but now they've lost 5 in a row and really haven't looked good in any of those games, oddly enough. So they're in trouble. For certain. What about the Senators? What do you make of the Sens?
Inconsistent, really. Defensively, they were a tire fire again at the beginning of the year. They cleaned that up. They played quite well when Brady Tkachuk was out of the lineup. Now he's back. They're not playing that great again. I saw them in the playoffs last year. There's some elements of their team to like. I do question their ability to score enough. Linus Ullmark to me either is Vezina Trophy caliber or horrendous. Like there seems to be no in between with Linus Ullmark, which is a concern, because if you give me an option of you can have a Vezina Trophy level guy who might be that sometimes, but when he's not is terrible, or you give me like a slightly above average goalie, but that's what he's going to be all the time. In other words, he'll make the stops that he needs to make so long as you play well in front of him. I'm taking that guy all day long because it's predictable. Ullmark hasn't been predictable, and he tends to miss time as well. So, yeah, I guess I look at Ottawa and say probably a playoff team, probably. But if Tampa, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, is that your 4 from the Atlantic Division? Like, does Boston hold on? Does Detroit hold on? Like, to me, Ottawa is a team like Detroit and Boston and Montreal that are just kind of hanging around and might squeeze in, might not, but they don't scare me. I'll put it out. Not quite frankly that Toronto scares me either, but I just think they're capable of better than what they showed for the first 20 games. We started to see it much more so over the last 10 or so. They don't really scare me either. There's not a lot in the East to go back to your point from a few minutes ago that really, really excites me. There's just a bunch of teams that might squeeze in, and then we'll see who gets there. But I think far and away, the top competition right now resides in the West, and I don't think it's by a close margin.
Yeah. I'll say if the Panthers just stay close, like if you're Montreal and those other teams, if you don't generate some space of at least 10 points over the Panthers before they get Tkachuk back, then I think the Panthers probably will just slowly reel them in. I think he could be that much of a difference maker emotionally for that team. And, he's going to be highly touted. He wants to get back, get into game shape, be ready to go for the Olympics. So that's why those other teams got to start creating some separation, as bad as Florida's been. Now, the one thing that Florida's played 18 home games, only 10 on the road. That's their issue. And whereas like the Rangers, they can't win at home. It's ridiculous. They got the best road record in the NHL and they can't win at home. It's very odd. But the Panthers are going to have to become road warriors. And sometimes teams gel on the road. We'll see, especially a team like that who's won a lot. But
well, yeah, I was just going to say, like the Leafs 10 days ago, when they went on their 6-game roadie, they got left for dead because they were playing terrible. And if they had played poorly during that road trip, it would have been season over with. But the best they played all season was on the road, and they saved their season to an extent. And, now they've come home 2 home games. They've had 3 or 4 points, and they've picked it up. So the road, in a way, was a bit of a cure for Toronto, and it could be that for Florida. But when your road to home schedule has that much disparity in it, it's nice to get on the road for 3 or 4 or 5 games, but when it becomes a constant slag, especially down the stretch in the second half of the year, sometimes it can prove to be a little bit too much.
Yeah, very true. Davey, as always, buddy, I appreciate it. We will chat with you on the brunch on Sunday and next week here on my show.
See you, buddy.
Have a good one. That's Dave A. McCarthy from Sirius XM. 3:45. Quick break. We'll come back, update you on month of giving. We got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. We'll hear from Chris Knobloch, the Oilers and the Sabres. And remember, playalberta.ca. You can get there. Range of everything. Casino, live dealer, lottery, instance. And hey, speaking of lottery, how about tonight's draw? Woo! $75 million. The Alec Regula of lottery draws tonight. $75 million. Get your tickets, playalberta.ca.
Live comes to a close. GS Construction would like to take the time and thank our crews, our partners, and our communities for another successful year of teamwork and growth. Together, we've helped keep Edmonton and the surrounding area moving by building and maintaining the underground infrastructure that keeps everything running smoothly. It's been another year of dedication, pride, and hard work the team has put in to make it all possible. To learn more about our people and our projects, visit gsconstruction.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantorque.com.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
I'm Gene Principe, bringing season's heatings from Legacy Heating and Cooling. For Yuletide comfort you'll love this Christmas. You should
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
There's no better way to fix your furnace. You just
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
They're professional, never rude, doll. You should
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, no interest and no principal payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text VALUE to 780-777-7777 to start. That's VALUE to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. People often ask me, hey, Rick, do people actually buy RVs from No Bull in the fall?
Fair question, Rick. Why would you want to buy an RV just when it's time to put it away in storage for the winter?
And I have the answer, Bob, because the RVs at No Bull are used. And that means every RV on our lot is a one-of-a-kind. So when you're looking for a used RV, you can be really picky.
One-of-a-kind means you don't have to compromise on what you're looking for.
That's right, Bob. But it also means when you find the right one, you grab it up before someone else does. Sometimes that's in the fall, but No Bull makes it easy because when you buy your used RV now, we include winterization and winter storage for free. We even get it prepared for spring camping at no charge to you. All you need to do is be ready for the great outdoors come next spring. When you think of it that way, the fall might be the best time to get your RV.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3:52. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. A lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our email inbox. It is the Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember the Jason Gregor Show daily specials. You can get some odd boosts. We got a few that kind of, I think, fit with where the Buffalo Sabres are, where the Edmonton Oilers are. I think the Oilers' offense is starting to roll. Sabres give up a lot of goals. Would this be an over? I think it is. Oilers win by 2. That's one of them. We have a Draisaitl a goal. McDavid, 2 points. Nugent Hopkins, Hyman a point. Get some odds boost for that. And then the slump buster one, little bit of a risk for sure, but and your Mangiapane to score a goal tonight. You can get that at PlayAlberta.ca. Now, speaking of, I guess didn't want to work today, just bang on a drum, Connor Halley, our buddy Cam Tate, actually, Tater's having some, his word generator site is on the fritz. So we might have to switch our Friday live read to Tuesday for the 2-minute warning. Let's get to that right now. 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. You don't want her breaking down now. If you're worried about it, get it before it's too cold. LegacyHeating.ca. And Cam Tate, of course, a longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy. He's never let him slow him down. He's been in a wheelchair. Has been working in the industry for over 45 years. He's always wanted to be in radio, and now through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And due to some technical issues, Cons, cue the music. I'll read Tater's 2-minute warning today. Once again, the day of giving arrives. And while you're leaning in, yes, you, right now, taking in this 2-minute warning, and we sincerely, truly hope you are. There's something you can do, something good. You can make a bid on the brick package, 833-401-1440. Or if you'd rather whisper directly into my ear, 833-401-1440. Now then, picture a goalie, Stuart Skinner, standing there after practice, looking, well, like a man who'd just been asked to explain the universe. Eyes blinking, mind spinning. A face quietly mumbling, how did that get past me? And then TSN Ryan Rishaug steps up. Not with a stat, not with a strategy, but with a question only an older brother would dare ask. Stuart, how many steamboats was that hug? 1 steamboat, 2, maybe 3? Skinner froze. Steamboats? Like riverboats? You mean the Edmonton Queen? That kind of steamboat? Oh, my. Skinner didn't know. Because Rishaug wasn't talking riverboats. He was talking about the warm lingering after the horn embrace between Skinner and Calvin Pickard after the 9-4 win over Seattle. A hug you could measure, a hug you had to time, a hug that said more than words ever could. Skinner starting tonight against Buffalo admitted it wasn't just the saves. No, sir, it was because, well, here's the rest of the story. They care for each other, a bond of goaltenders, a brotherhood, stitched in blue and orange, which is why when a goalie trade comes, and yes, I believe one will, the room will feel it deeply. And don't underestimate the closeness of those two. It's a business, but it'll be felt. 833-401-1440. Bid, give, repeat. 2-minute warning, Gregor, Halley, Kruger. Is he bidding on that big TV as my Christmas gift? Me, Tater. Weekdays, Sports 1440. That would be a good gift. Yes. It was quite funny because so they were talking about, defense and everything playing better. And then Rishaug goes, hey, how long was that? How long do you think you should hug? And Skinner was like, what are we talking about now? And then explain, because I know a lot of people was like, oh, Skinner and Pickard, they had started the game in when Pickard won, and then they had another long embrace after the Winnipeg game, and people have, that means they're getting traded. They're saying goodbye. Like, really? Like, it's amazing things that the conclusions people will jump to and then believe it. That's the wild part. Right? Like, people constantly fall for a person on X who constantly tweets out fake news over and over. And many of you still fall for it. Hey, Greg, is there any truth to this? I told you multiple times. No. Has there been any truth to the last 10? No. And then people are like, because of that one. Now they're hugging goodbye. Yes. Because if they were hugging goodbye, they would do it on public for everyone to see. Come on. Now, do I think that there will be a goalie change at some point before the deadline? I do, probably. It's the business of hockey, man. It's not always rainbows and lollipops, and you got to make guys get along and the team's close, and that matters, but not always. And so, yeah, I do think that there's a chance it could happen. Hey, Greg's, what about the Shanna plan in Buffalo? Could it work? Scotty Bowman couldn't even help the Sabres from oddball. Going back to when he coached there, yeah. Well, Shanahan did say at the governor's meetings he would like to get back in, but he's never been the GM. So they already have Kekalainen. Do they need like Shanahan? Probably not. Like, I still think Kekalainen is going to be the GM. I'm just kind of curious as to what they're waiting for, to be honest. Like, I don't know if maybe now it's December 9th and it's too close to Christmas. Okay, I can understand that. If that's your reasoning, even though it's a guaranteed contract, so it's not going to financially hurt you if you get fired in the NHL before Christmas. You're getting guaranteed money, right? So, but I look at the Sabres, and so they're 0-for-3 on this road trip. Now, if the Edmonton Oilers take care of business like they should, this is a game the Oilers should win. Make no mistake about it. This is a game they should win. And then the Sabres, they continue on. They're into Vancouver on Thursday night, so that'll be a 5-game road trip. And then I think, and then they're done. Or do they have one more? No, I think they're done. And then they'll go back home and try to lick their wounds and regroup. Because, like, where do you go for an organization? No, actually, I'm wrong. They're in Seattle still on the Sunday, so the pain might continue. But the Sabres, like, look at the New York Jets. They're basically the same thing, right? The Jets have now, this will be 15 years, same as the Sabres, because, like, unless you think a miracle comeback is coming here for the Sabres, I don't see it. And now Zucker's out. They don't know what they're doing with their goaltending. They got 3 goalies, and none are giving them great goaltending, probably because no one can really get into any sort of rhythm. I don't understand what they're doing at all. I do not understand. So we'll see where it goes. But I look at an organization, and Oilers fans, if you close your eyes, and maybe you don't want to, definitely not if you're driving, but if you close your eyes and think back to 2013, 2014, you're like, is this ever going to end? Right now, they got McDavid, but they also had Draisaitl. They made some other moves, and their team slowly started getting better. And then, they did make the playoffs once, but then they missed it again with Chiarelli because he made some real head-scratching moves. None were like his big major gaffe was the Griffin Reinhart trade. You take Eriksson Ek. That was the rumbling. That's the guy they like. Take Eriksson Ek. Imagine what he would have done to your team. And you would have still had your second round pick. Who knows what you've taken there? But just say they took Eriksson Ek. Didn't have to take Shabbat, any of those other guys. He would have helped your team. No question. Imagine him as your third line center. Oh, right. So you can, like, the Sabres have made some good decisions, but then they've made a lot of poor ones, and they keep making them. And I believe that if you just look at how their team's built, like, it's 14 years, and they've really had 1 year where they were okay at 90 points. The rest, they're not even close. So you gotta, and it's not like they haven't, like, Jack Eichel's a good player. He's a top 10 forward in the game. Yeah, he's not Connor McDavid, but he's still a really good player. Him and Sam Reinhart, you telling me that couldn't have been a foundation throw in Tage Thompson, some others, but no. Like, you look at the decision and how they lost Jack. And now they got Tuck, and Tuck has played well. You're not going to win that trade when you trade Eichel, but Tuck's been pretty good. But look what happened in the trade. Well, we don't want him to have this surgery. That's what you lost him over. And then he had the surgery and everything's fine. Like, that's mind-blowing to me. So, and hey, I could say that because I criticized the Oilers for years when their decisions, and we all did, like, for 10. But this is 15. Right? Like they're getting to the point now they're 50% worse like that. And that's hard to do, to be 50% worse than a decade of darkness. Hey, Gregor, I've seen my team lose 3 cups. They have it worse than the Sabres. Are you sure? I can tell you right now, I would strongly disagree. Yes, your team has lost 3 Stanley Cup finals, and that hurts. But up until they lost that final game, you went into game 7 2 years ago thinking your team was going to win. When was the last time the Sabres thought that? Not just, I mean, like win to make the playoffs. Never mind win the cup. You had 2 game 7s. In game 6, like, no. Yes, losing hurts, but all the other months, you had 10 months of lots of fun. So, no, I can't say that it's the same. I would disagree with that. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Every fresh chef-crafted gourmet meal is handcrafted from scratch with fresh ingredients and arrives at your door fully cooked and ready to eat, heat, and repeat. Meals.loca.ca.
Game day, the Edmonton Oilers in action tonight, taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Puck drop 7, pre-game with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro gets going at 6. Elsewhere, the Canadians host the Lightning, Devils take on the Sens, Golden Knights up against the Islanders, Penguins host the Ducks, Jackets meet the Hurricanes, Blues, Brewers, Jets host the Stars, and the Avalanche taking on the Nashville Predators. In the association, 2 games tonight in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. Raptors host the Knicks. You've also got the Heat taking on the Magic and the AJ. Earlier today, Kodiak fell to the Thunder 4-2. Tonight at 7, Wolverines in Bonnyville. In the PWHL, Ottawa takes on Vancouver just after 8 o'clock. Edmonton Elks have extended quarterback Cody Fajardo through the 2026 season. The 33-year-old threw for just over 3,400 yards last season with 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in 13 starts. And 44-year-old Philip Rivers unretiring to sign with the Colts on their practice roster after both Daniel Jones and Riley Leonard were injured in Sunday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear more comments from the Oilers, ask 5 questions, and be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fan. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Hey, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca. And let's get to work for you.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Get ready, Edmonton. Glow Christmas Festival returns to light up the Edmonton Expo Center from December 4th to 31st with dazzling activities for the entire family. Wander the glowing trails, meet Santa in his sleigh, and shop from over 30 local artisans and vendors with handcrafted gifts and holiday treasures, perfect for everyone on your list. Get your tickets and learn more about what's on this season by visiting the calendar of events at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site, December 10th to 12th, 8 a.m. Live on site and online. On offer, core construction, heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids on site view days and timed auction on now. Sale starts tomorrow. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action. On Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs. Specializing in selling and servicing cranes, get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hey, we're halfway in the show today, and hey, we're over halfway to face value on our monthly giving package. So that is fantastic. We have a great package today. We're helping out Santa's Anonymous. Just Santa's Anonymous, for those who don't know, just helps kids get a gift at Christmas who otherwise wouldn't. And man, when you think about it, if you have the opportunity to help out, you're going to help out a lot of kids today for Santa's Anonymous. And the great part is you're going to help out and you're going to get something that you're going to use for a long time, because this is what you're going to get courtesy of the Brick. You're going to get a $2,500 gift card. Buy whatever you want in store. Furniture, mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs, name it. They got it at the Brick. And you'll get the $2,500 gift card and a 75-inch LG UHD AI 4K smart TV. Fantastic picture quality. You want to watch sports? You want to watch movies? Maybe you need a gaming TV and you're just like, I'm into it, man. Whatever game you're playing now, need a better one? Okay, great. So $2,500 gift card and the big screen TV. We're currently at $2,500, so obviously we're not at retail value. So Tim has it. So let's get that up a bit. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We're going to get to Chris Knobloch in a second. To remind you, $75 million up for grabs tonight. Lotto Max, get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. So we did a little fun little draw where 5 people would put in 100 bones, and we got 2 pairs of tickets that we're going to draw out of here. So you have a 2 in 5 chance of winning. So I'll put the box just in case anybody thinks I'm cheating. Mix up all the names, and here we go. Looks like it is Andrew. So Andrew gets a pair of seats. Congratulations, Andrew. There you go. And our next and last winner out, Lance. Andrew and Lance. And thanks to, just everybody sees, to Puffy, Greg, and Sean for playing along. So we'll send those tickets your way. Thank you very much. Nice. We do have lots of other texts to get to, and we'll get to the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. I will say, I'm gonna let you listen to this one answer, because as I was listening to it, it brought back memories of, because I used to always question it all the time, because it started to happen way too frequently. Now I want you to listen and tell me if you pick up what I heard. Okay, this is, now you got to think back a little bit, Oiler fans. If this is something you've heard before. So here is Chris Knobloch just talking about the biggest takeaway from for meeting the Sabres earlier and how they can maybe change the outcome tonight?
They're a very dangerous team. They've got a lot of speed, whether that's their forwards or the defensemen. And, if you're caught sleeping out of position, they're going to take advantage of that. A lot of the offense is driven by their defensemen. They've got good puck movers, like to get involved. And when it's going well, it's very dangerous. But if you're able to check it well and stay on top of that, then you can create some offense yourself.
So, really dangerous team. Really good team. Lots of speed over there. You know how many times I used to hear in the decade of darkness that we got to respect this team, man. When visiting teams would come to Edmonton, like it is, I understand why they say that. They're not going to say, hey, you know what, this team's brutal right now, man. We're going to lock all over them. Of course, they're not going to say that. And you respect everyone you play in the league. I understand it. But those comments, when a clear bad team comes to town, is a reminiscent of the decade of darkness to me. To a T, like, oh my goodness, there were so Todd McClellan, when he was in San Jose, like when he got hired in Edmonton, I got to know Todd. I remember chuckling because I have, so I would play and said, hey, Todd, remember when you said this about the Oilers? And he would just laugh. And he's like, what do you want me to say? Right? Like, what are they going to say? Man, this team stinks right now. But as a coach, you could say, you know what? I'm really confident in how we're playing. And, this team has been leaking chances. So we're going to try to take advantage of that. Because, come on. Dub, by the way, actually, Sean went to 2750. Now Dub's up to 3,000 on our package. So there we go. Awesome. But Cons, when you hear that, I understand it, but I'm kind of like, do you have to go over the top too much when describing one of the worst teams in the league?
I don't think you have to, but it kind of just seems like the stock answer. And you're right. Like, as soon as I heard that, like, oh yeah, that's what you say about a team that isn't very good, but has a few players that could potentially hurt you. Like the Oilers for so long. Yeah, maybe Eberle and Hall had a good game and got you, but more times than not, it wasn't going to happen. I'm trying to think of an instance where a coach openly said, like, hey, we're way better than this team. We're going to beat them if we play our game. I feel like coaches don't want to do that. They don't want to provide any sort of bulletin board material. But yeah, that kind of just seems like the stock answer.
They should. Why not be confident in your team? Hey, guys, coach went out there, just said the truth. You know what? This is the team we should beat. We're better than them. We played better than them. And, they're an experienced team. Pick whatever word you want to use. Doesn't really matter to me. But I found that kind of comical today. And actually, Cons, listen to Stu Skinner. Stu Skinner laid it on even thicker, actually, which I was getting a little bit of a chuckle on about. Skinner was just asked about the biggest challenge in playing the Sabres.
Yeah, they got a ton of skill up front, a ton of skill at the back end too. So our job is to defend well, do our job in the D zone. And then again, that kind of allows us to get creative in the O zone. But yeah, they're a team that's really good off the rush, really good in the O zone. They're playing really good hockey. So we gotta be ready.
They're playing, and hey, I love Stu's answers to all the other questions, but there's one where I was like, they're playing really good hockey. They've lost 3 in a row. They've allowed 15 goals in the last 3 games. They're not playing very good hockey. So it's all good. I understand it. I'm not even, it's kind of like, I don't even know if they're playing well. Like, because honestly, players, you'd be surprised. They're not following a team when they come in that much. Early in the year, you're facing teams all the time. You're more worried about, okay, we're going to play this way. The coach will come in, and if one team has like a very unique neutral zone play that they make or offensive zone, they'll mention that. But for the most part, you're not like, you're playing, well, think about it. You're playing every second day, and sometimes you're playing 6 games in 9 days. You can't try to change. Like, you get into a playoff series, and you'll know, hey, this is what the team really does. Let's try to take it away. And you really dive in and drill down and focus on it. You don't do that in the regular season. Right. So I'm not even sold that a lot of the players are really following everything that the opposition's doing all the time. Right now, you might look at the top scorers. Oh, geez, like everybody knows who McDavid and Draisaitl is. That's That's not a big one, right? And yeah, Tage Thompson's got some skill, and George Nars has some skill. Right? They got some skill, sure, but they've also got a lot of holes, and they've got a lot of weaknesses right now in how they're playing. They're also, I would think it wears on you, no question. Because I remember talking to the older players. It gets like year 4, year 5 for some guys, right? Obviously, they haven't all been there for 14 years. But some guys are on year 6, man. Rasmus Dahlin has never been close. And he got drafted in 2018. Never been close to the playoffs. So, yeah, it can wear on guys. No question. So, I just, that's the sign to me. I kind of, when you hear them really glazing a team that's a bottom feeder, Con, that's when you know. That, to me, confirms they're a bottom feeder. Take a quick break. Jason. Strutty, well, you know what? Strutty's heard a few of those comments before. And Strutty actually, you know what? He told me this story. I'll get him to tell you this story about how when you're the team that's brutal, how you have to manipulate things to your advantage. We'll talk about it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit Loca.ca to start planning today.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices skyrocket. The Holiday Hamper Foundation provides festive meals for 2,000 homes in need. Your donation ensures a turkey is on the table for every family. Donate today at holidayhamper.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake. But it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee. Still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
The holidays are all about giving back. And this year at GMC, we're giving everyone something truly special. Our Wish and Win event is on now. Visit us for your chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new 2025 or 2026 GMC vehicle, including the stylish Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab, the dependable Sierra 2500 HD, the adventurous Canyon, and the family ready to raid. No purchase necessary. Ends January 2nd. For full rules, see your GMC dealer or wishandwin.ca/rules.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at NHLer Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Turf Itch Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each order at papajohns.ca. or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.421, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. It is a game day. Oilers taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Of course, we'll take you right till 6, and then we got the pregame show with Walker and Paulson. Puck drop just after, about 7:08. Tonight, we still don't know for sure who's going to be the starting goalie. I think it might be Lyon for the Sabres. It is his 33rd birthday today. And he did come in the third period last night, didn't allow a goal. So why not? He actually started 12 of their first 17 games, but has only made 2 starts since. And Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen struggling. Colton Ellis struggling. Might as well go with Lyon. Maybe the birthday boy can stand on his head, because that's really what the Sabres need. Like right now, defensively, they're not very good. They've given up the third most goals in the National Hockey League, 3.55 against per game. And they're going up against an Oilers team that right now, their offense, they're good. Their power play is 63.6% in their last 4 games, 7 out of 11. So they're just kind of frothing in the mouth. They can't wait to get over the boards. So it'll be tough. Hey, guys, the Oilers can't say anything bad about Buffalo. They never beat them. Well, they don't beat them in Buffalo. That is true, Hobbs. But in Edmonton, the Oilers have won 5 of the last 6. Including a few years ago, they spanked them 8-3. McDavid had 4 points. Draisaitl had 3 points. Hyman had a few goals. So in Edmonton, they've done better. But you're right. In Buffalo, they can't win in Buffalo and they can't win in Columbus. It's kind of weird. They can win a lot of other places, Florida, Tampa, lots, but they can't win there. So we'll see. 833-401-1440 is our text line or phone line. You want to call or text a bid. We're up to $3,000, which is good. We got it. We always like to get face value in our packages, right? These are all donated, 100% donation, and all your money goes to charity. So it's a 100% donation from the Brick, $2,500 gift card, and a 75-inch LG UHD AI 4K smart TV. Brand new. Unreal. Picture quality is amazing. So Dub has it currently at $3K. Obviously, the TV's worth more than $500, so let's get that up. 833-401-1440. We're helping out Santa's Anonymous today. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Silent Ice Center and their New Year's Eve bash. Now, is our next guest, is he going to be a celebrity guest singer? You know, walking on stage, tight jeans, while the main guy, Brett Kissel, wears his cowboy hat? Who knows? Who knows? You never know what will happen on a New Year's Eve, but you can get your tickets, Silent Ice Center, for that one. It's Jason Strud. As we get to Struds on.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you had me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, how you doing?
I'm tip top. What's up with you today?
Oh, I was just I was chuckling listening to Stu Skinner and Chris Knobloch's wax eloquently about the skill and the danger of the Buffalo Sabres, and man, you got to respect them. And it brought me back to the decade of darkness for many years, where opposing teams would come in here and the coach would tell us, you know what, we got to be aware of that team, man. They're good over there, and lots of different. And it was like, man, I could have just played the same thing all the time. And I get it that the coach isn't going to come in and say this team's brutal, other than Henrik Lundqvist. Remember that? Hey, what was your toughest save? And he just laughed when he had that shutout to one game.
That was awful. Yeah, that'd be a hard thing to hear from the other team. That was the easiest shutout of my career.
Yeah, but it was true. It was true. He didn't. No. I don't think he faced a high danger chance. But now on the other side, Struddy, I remember Ethan Morrow, and I don't know if it's him or you who told me the story that sometimes, Struddy, you've got to say things when you are the bad team to try to fire up your team.
Yeah. So we were playing, we're going to play St. Louis, and we were trying to find our way, right? So before the game, I'm like, hey, guys, just so you know, I talked to Kelly Chase, and he was a radio guy, another TV guy. I said, they think this can be an easy one. What a joke. And the guy's like, what? That's outrageous. I'm like, I know. We got to take it to him. And we went out and won the game. So after the game, Ethan Morrow comes over. He's like, did he really say that? I'm like, no. He's like, good job. You got to find a way to get guys going, right? Yeah. And I find when you're pissed off, you're a different player, because when you're on a bad team, you're looking for something bad to happen. Like, let's just be honest. It's like if you're a bad golfer and you're playing with a good golfer, you start out the good hole for, we tied the first. Okay, good. And then you have a couple bad shots. You're like, I'm done. And then you just explode, right? So same thing with bad teams. You've got to find a way to just get mad. And so you're not thinking about the bad things that could and most likely will happen because of the lack of talent on your team.
And you just described our golf game. What are your thoughts on the first hole? So I understand that.
Oh, boy.
The Oilers are playing well right now, and I know that you can't take your foot off the gas by any stretch. But the Oilers, the reason I don't think they will, Strut, they haven't even won 3 games in a row yet this year, one time, right? Like they feel good about their game. They're well rested, right? They're getting extra days off right now during this homestand that weren't even planned. So the players are loving that. But the Oilers came out against Winnipeg, and they just said, like, this game's going to be over. And it was basically over 8.5 minutes into the game, right? They're up 3-0. They had a 3-0 lead on Seattle the game before. Seattle got close, bad giveaway. And then they said, no. And they took it to him in the second period. Again, 3 goals in 8 minutes. Tonight, I can't guarantee you 3 goals in 8 minutes, but I think the Oilers come out flying. Like, they've got a little bit of mojo right now. And I think this team knows that, you know what, we got a tough sked coming up after these 2 home games. So we got to take care of business.
Bank the points. And a game like tonight, you said that, the top teams would come in and say, well, we got to respect this. And it has nothing to do with the other team when you're the good team. So in this case, the Oilers, they come on, they set the tone and put them away early. Now, hopefully that expresses itself in 3 or 4 goals early. And then Buffalo's like, yeah, this isn't happening tonight. We just played last night. We got rocked last night. We're struggling because they're on a bit of a road trip here and they need to find some ground. But the worst thing you can do is let a team hang around. Holy geez, you might have a chance in this one. It's only, whether it's 1-0 or 0-0 after 1, we really haven't been outplayed. Maybe this is our night, and they start building confidence. So you have to break the spirit of the other team. And yeah, goals are for sure one way, but it's about being on them and making them uncomfortable the way they're playing and all that kind of stuff. So I think a good start from a fresh team, a fresher team in the Oilers, but also a team that's found, you mentioned their offensive mojo, but they're starting to find their defensive mojo. And I think that makes a difference in tonight's game and quite frankly, moving forward.
Yeah. When you look at the Oilers and what are you seeing from Regula as a defenseman?
Well, it's obviously the Oilers think he has better upside than Troy Stetcher in the short term, and obviously long term, he's a younger player. And I want to believe in this guy. And he started off the season. Well, exhibition was really good. Started off season pretty well. Gets rocked. And then came back and wasn't quite himself. Or he didn't play the level I thought he did or could. But what happens is when you're you're in the bottom third of the lineup, when the top guys aren't going, I think it makes it harder. I've been that guy. And not that I have to always follow the lead of the top guys or I need the top guys to pull me along, but it's just when the whole team isn't going well, sometimes the mistakes you make just are that much bigger. Well, recently, I think he's kind of getting his game back. He got into a fight. He's moving the puck well. He's got confidence and poise with the puck. I think he can move it a touch faster than he does, but he does have that Kevin Bieksa-like patience. I'd still like to see him add some more physicality to his game. I know that's maybe not in him, but if he wants to be a long-term NHLer and add that to your game, I think it makes a big difference. But I'm liking what I'm seeing recently, and he's playing, pretty decent minutes. What was he? I want to say 21 or 22 minutes last game.
Yeah, well, I noticed that they play the guys more when you're up big, as you should be, right? Smart to do. I just kind of you're right about Regula. I don't know if he'll be more physical, but I think you have to be a little bit, right? Like he's never going to be Brian Marchment, right? He's not going to be Jacob Trouba. He's not going to be Radko Gudas, and that's fine. But when you're that big, you could just lean on guys. Sometimes just lean on guys, and naturally you can, you see some of the small forwards in this league. You're a guy his size. You just lean on them. They're going to feel it.
And it's not about, well, I guess it is always about your next contract, but how else am I helping the team? Okay, I'm making good plays with the puck. Can I add this physicality? Because quite honestly, it is harder to have the skill to make the plays that he makes more so than the physicality. But the physicality, it's finishing checks, maybe squeezing guys, hold them a little bit longer against the wall, in front of the net, make sure you're boxing them out. And those are all just little details in your game that you can work on and add through video and practice, and you can work with your D-man coach. But I still think that there's still more upside on this player. And just keep in mind, he hasn't hardly played the last year. So, that also takes time. So maybe we got to give him a little bit of a break there as well.
Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, you look at the orders, and it's going to be a few weeks beforehand, but they're going to have some, I call them good decisions to make when Roslovic and Kapanen come back. Because if you look at their top three lines right now, you're going to have to move two guys out of those lines. And then there's two guys on your fourth line. Now, some would say, Tomasic and, Lazar, those are easy guys to come out of lineup. And, maybe they are in the short term, but you get Kapanen and Roslovic back in, like does Mangiapane go on your fourth line, right? Like it's, Nugent Hopkins, I think maybe he doesn't, because Nugent Hopkins then goes to your third line center. Maybe Janmark goes to your fourth line. But like the Oilers, the potential of their lineup, I still think they need another top six winger. But when you get Roslovic and Kapanen back in, looking at how their lineup is now, they get even quicker than they already are. And I think they get a little bit more physical too.
Well, you just nailed it. I mean, the speed that those two guys bring is huge. And there was a lot of talk at the beginning of the year, the Oilers looked slow, and they were playing slow. They looked, fatigued or disinterested. Now they're got going, and they added Roslovic, who's a really fast skater, and Kapanen, who, quite honestly, really hasn't had, much going on this year because of the injuries he's had. So bring those two guys in, it helps a lot. And, unfortunately for Tomasic, I'm not sure that's really that hard of a decision. And with all due respect, like I know I've been in that position, it sucks. And then the guy that I think has made it really interesting is Curtis Lazar. Right? Does Curtis Lazar, does he deserve a spot in this lineup? Yeah, he does. The way he's played recently, he brings a lot of energy to the team. He brings a lot of, scoring, which I don't know if that's the job of the fourth liner, but it sure doesn't hurt to your case. So what happens to him? Could you see, Trent Frederick or Mangiapane sitting a game or two? I think that would be unlikely. Unfortunately it's the guy who's generally a 13th forward, or viewed as that, is Lazar. He's probably the one that'll take off the chin, but he won't be going too far, because I honestly think that he has earned the trust of this team, and quite honestly, his energy is needed, much like we saw from Clattenburg.
Now, what do you make of Mangiapane? Like, he hasn't scored a goal in 16 games. He's a smaller guy. Like, if he's not scoring, like, he's not like he's a real physical guy. He can be a little bit of a gnat at times, for sure. But he's a guy here, I think, Struddy's going to really have to up his game, or he could find himself on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and I always felt with forwards, well, everyone, like, if you're not scoring, what are you doing to help the team? Like, what are you bringing to it? Okay, some veteran savvy. Okay, that's fair. But, so is Curtis Lazar. And he's making a third, not even a third. It'd be way less than that of what Mangiapane is, but he's bringing energy to the team and getting in there and mixing it up. So I think Mangiapane, he's got to kind of find that as well. And I like the signing. I thought it was a bit of a risky signing, but maybe what he was last year in Washington is what he is, a third line center or third line player, and maybe his goal scoring is continuing to go down. So he definitely needs to find, I caught more tempo to his game and getting in there and really forechecking and doing things, even if you're not scoring, still having an impact on the game, because a lot of nights you're like, did he play tonight? And I think that's a dangerous place to be in on a deep team.
How many steamboats do you and Rashog have in your hugs after your podcast together?
Buddy, I'm not a big hugger. I don't think I've ever hugged Rashog. I'm not a big hugger.
Well, I don't think he's allowed with that back of his, is he?
Well, yeah, it is a dangerous place when you got that back issue. But no, I think that the hugs are down to a minimum. I hug Brownie all the time, though. I give Brownie hugs all the time.
Oh, yeah, but just not Rashog. So Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No hugs for Shaw.
It's just, I'm not, you probably don't know what I'm talking about because Rashad was asking Skinner about his hugs with Pickard today numerous times. It was quite comical.
Oh, at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because people thought that was the end
No.
of Skinner because of that, or the end of not Skinner. Sorry, Calvin Pickard.
Yeah, it was so stupid. Like it's the conclusions of people online that they come to is stunning to me. I think like too bad people should get like a 1 month ban when they do stupid things, and then no one else has to hear about it, right?
Well, it's just the timing. Like you have to look at the timing situation. The team's trending in the right direction, playing better. Why would you do it then? You know, like just let everyone see if they can find their high water mark, and that's the skaters and the goaltenders. And then you can say, okay, this is truly what we need. And so I just thought the timing was really odd. I was blown away.
Yeah. Wow. It was, Skinner explained it, and he just said, you know what, they had a good chat. He was talking to him because it was more so that fourth goal that, it changes all the numbers, because people just at the end of the night, they look at the stat sheet and he's like, you know what, man, lots of goalies have been there. So he was just talking about that. Like, don't worry. I don't know. People don't, hey, it doesn't matter, but it does matter because people will criticize the goalie based on their save percentage and their goals against average. So when your team just leaves guys wide open late and you give up a goal with 5 seconds left and your save percentage goes from 900 to 880, well, that's a big difference.
Yeah. And you know what, the skaters, the good teammates would remember that and say, you know what, we're sorry, we owe you one. Because you never want to leave your goalie out in Island because you want that guy to bail you out. And oftentimes they do bail you out more than you bail them out, right? So I think the good teammates will remember to say, hey, guys, we owe pick one. We definitely own one, probably more than one.
Yeah, no, it's very true. It just reminds me of the quote by Charles Bukowski. Struds, you know that one?
No, I don't think I know it.
The problem with the world is the intelligent people are full of doubts, while the stupid ones are full of confidence.
That's a good one. I got to check that one out.
That is a very, very good quote at times, which makes me laugh. Quickly, when you look at the orders now, and they got this schedule here, they've taken advantage of some teams. I would call them scheduling advantages. When you were a player, Struds, how much was it talked about? Like, hey, Buffalo, they played last night. They've lost 3 in a row. They played 3 and 4 games. Like those things, you say, hey, guys, like we got to be on our game tonight because this is a game. Because a lot of times we'll be on the other side. We'll be playing our 3rd game in 4 nights, and you try really hard, but you know that you don't have your best. So was it ever actually openly discussed when you're looking at scheduling advantages?
Oh, 100%. Like the coach will come in, so we got to get on these guys early, right? Or on the other side, they might say, hey, we've got to play a really smart game tonight. So if you're the Buffalo Sabres, and maybe not the best example, but, hey, guys, we've got to manage the puck, be smart with our plays, short shifts. And on the other side, you're like, we've got to get on these guys right away. Just give them no chance. And you openly discuss it, right? Like, because the last thing you want to do is like, oh, they played last night. We didn't know. What do you mean you didn't know they played? You should be watching highlights. Like, I'd always go in and I'd take a look at, those stat sheets. Sometimes they'd show who's on fire or whatever, who's having a good year. And you always want to kind of get a sense of how the team's going. Maybe watch the highlight packs of the last couple of games so you kind of know what's coming down the pipe. But if you think they're going to be tired, which this team is, much like Winnipeg, you do not hesitate to go after them right away. And I think I'll be interested to see what line they start tonight. I'm guessing McDavid's, but I'd bring the line I think brings my most energy right off the hop.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing, Struddy. Like when you're rolling, I remember you talk about like coaches, there are times when you have to read the room and you start your 3rd or 4th line. And a lot of times when they're calling out that lineup in the room, the guys really go crazy because the 4th line loves it because they don't get start very often. And if you have good leaders in the top line, they're jazzed up because it doesn't matter how old players are. They still like to be in the starting line.
Oh, standing out there on the blue line with your helmet off, your hair just blowing in the wind, there's something about it. And it's always the same guys, right? We're going to play our best players. When you go with a 3rd line or 4th line, especially when it's that guy's hometown, it gets you so jacked up. And I've seen coaches decide, like, let's just say they go somewhere and whatever. It's Connor, and you put Leon, and you put Jason Strudwick on the right wing because you're playing at home. Like, I know I get, you understand the story.
Yeah.
You're so jacked up. Like, what's he going to do? How's he going to play? And then if a guy hits or blocks a shot or, God forbid, he scores a goal, the team goes crazy. And that's the way coaches create or manage energy. That's how you do it. And I think you can do it at all levels of hockey and quite frankly, sports. It just brings energy to your team when you need it the most.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that one. Strutty, what did you make of Connor Halley's Chargers over Low Tide's Eagles last night? And are the Eagles in trouble?
Oh, I think they're in trouble. I mean, I don't know what team can they beat, right, in their division. I mean, the Chargers, I've got a lot of respect for Justin, playing with the broken, was it finger or knuckle or whatever. And then I love the quote from Harbaugh. He's like, if this is right up there with my birth of my children and my marriage, the win yesterday, like, it's a regular season win. Do you know that? Like, do you know it's regular season?
It's a little hyperbolic for sure. I gotta chuckle out of that. Just a tad. Just a tad. Yeah. But for 1 year anyway, it looks like there'll be some new blood in the AFC because the Chiefs, they're not making it. They even if they win out, they're only 10-7. But they're just like the Chargers. All the Chargers got to do is win 2 of their final 4 games. Chiefs can't catch them. Even actually, I think if they win 1 and that 1 win is against Chiefs can't catch them anyway. So. They're in a pretty good spot. Houston, of course, I think is a really good spot now because the Colts are going down. What do you think of Old Man Rivers, Strutty, coming back?
Well, this is is it Connor's birthday today? Like, that's his boy, isn't it?
Oh,
Grandpa Phil going back in the game.
Yeah, he could barely tweet yesterday. He was so excited.
I know. I don't know. That's a bad. I feel bad for the Colts. They had a pretty good thing going, and I mean, Phil Rivers was a good quarterback, but at 44, my God, come on. That's your best option. That's pretty sad.
Yeah. Strutty, what happens tonight for the Oilers?
Oilers come out flat. This is a 5-1, 5-0. Like, this one is some of those games for Buffalo or for a team like Buffalo, you're just going to lose. Tonight's one of those nights.
All right, buddy. Have yourself a great day. We will chat with you next Tuesday.
Talk later.
There you go. That's Threads On here, brought to you by Silent Eye Sports and Entertainment. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. We'll update you on the month of giving and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Aloha, Edmonton, it's back. Century Vision Care's 4th annual Maui Christmas event on Friday, December 12th from 9 to 5. Century Vision Care, Edmonton's biggest Maui gym retailer, is bringing the island spirit to your holiday shopping. Enjoy in-house savings on all prescription and non-prescription Maui gyms, plus giveaways, prizes, snacks, and beverages all day. Same-day eye exam appointments are available, and they direct bill most insurance plans, but spots are filling fast. Get ahead on your Christmas list and treat yourself to a new pair of Maui gyms. Visit Century Vision Care on Instagram.
If you're selling a vehicle, Sherwood Honda really wants to get your goat. We mean greatest offer of all time. Consign with Sherwood Honda, and they can sell your vehicle for you. All breeds, makes, and models, not just Hondas. You can let Sherwood Honda lock horns with those tough negotiators, and you'll reach the interested buyers that flock to Sherwood Honda every day. Sherwood Honda's the goat of selling vehicles, including yours. So someone Sherwood...
The wrapping paper is coming off. The gift box is opening, and the crowd goes wild.
When they want sports in their stocking, you'll find gifts that score big at St. Albert's Source for Sports. Jerseys and accessories, baseball, bikes, all kinds of skates, and everything on. It's all here, alongside expert advice from pros who know sports. Put the best sports brands under the tree for less with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for hockey and the best sports gifts for over 35 years.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa Service Department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.447, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on a lovely Tuesday afternoon. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We got just an hour to go here on the month of games. We got to get this up. You know, our goal, we always like to get to face value. Everything is donated. We got a $2,500 gift card from the Brick. Use whatever you like, furniture, mattresses, appliances, big screen TVs. You got it all. So there's always something in your home you'll need for that. And a 75-inch LG 2025 AI 4K smart TV. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's an amazing package. So it's currently at $3,000. Obviously, the TV's worth more than $500. So let's get that up a little bit. 833-401-1440. We're helping out Santa's Anonymous today. Lots of kids who just hope to get a gift at Christmas and help out their family. So you'll get you can sit there and enjoy it and sit back in your lounger and be like, hey, you know what? I helped out a lot of people with this. And you get to help you for many years. Big screen TV now, you get it, man. Those things last. Like I got mine 9 years ago and it's still like mint. So that's that's great about it. This is a long-term purchase. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. If you want to text in, you can. Dub currently has it at $3,000. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by our friends at the Brick, who do a lot in the community. A big shout out to Ken and their entire crew at the Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1, prediction time. Oilers, Sabres tonight.
Well, I see the Oilers winning, and I think this is one where they win by multiple goals. So I say the Oilers, I say 6-2 is what I think the Oilers will play tonight.
I'm with you. I think this is the game. I mean, you might get a hot start from the Sabres, but the longer it goes on, fatigue's going to set in. You keep moving your feet, draw some penalties. I think it could be a nice night for the Oilers. I'll take a 5-1 victory instead. Now, question 2, sticking with the Sabres. How many players do you think they eventually will trade away this year? And when and who do you think is the first to be moved?
Ooh, interesting question. God. Like if they're going to move somebody, and I think it's more that they, Alex Tuck seems too easy of an answer, right? But he's a penny UFA, and there's not a lot of penny UFAs with value out there. So I can't think of anybody else who jumps to the top of the list. But I guess like Blake Mallenstein would be an easier trade. Bottom end guy doesn't make as much. But so you know what? I'm going to go with Mallenstein because I think it's an easier trade to make, whereas Tuck will have lots more suitors and could have a few more bidders, might last longer.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. And I would try to get it done earlier if I was them. Maybe have a few more teams bidding that are in the running for it. I'll say they end up moving 3 players, and Beck Mallenstein will be one of them for me as well. Question number 3 for you. Cody Fajardo signing the 1-year extension with the Elks. Will be back through the 2026 season. Ideally, how many games do you think he plays in?
Ooh. Well, they don't have a backup right now with any experience, right? Like, because Trey Ford is I've said this from the end of the regular season. We came in on the Monday, Connor, after the regular season finale, and Trey Ford didn't play. And I said, there's my sign. Trey Ford now I know, like a lot of guys, they have the roster bonus sometime in the new year. So he's not going to be getting that. So I think either Trey Ford asks for his release or he gets his release. I don't think a team's going to trade for him because of his current contract. So they just wait till he goes in and then you renegotiate, away you go. So Cody Fajardo, ideally, he's playing all 18 games. I guess I'll say that because right now I don't think they have a backup. So I'll go with 18.
Yeah, I'm with you. Every single game. I'm curious to see where they, if there is a rookie out there they bring in and, potentially try to develop in the next couple of years here. But I think that he gives them the best chance to win at this point. So every single game for Cody Fajardo next year. Question number 4. What do you make of the Colts signing Phillip Rivers to their practice squad? And do you think he plays?
Go ahead.
Well, I love it. I mean, obviously. I'm intrigued because Phillip Rivers' greatest skill set was always his mind. I think he's one of the best when it comes to reading defenses. You watch him mic'd up, telling the Houston Texans defense, like, I know you're not going to blitz, you're in the wrong spot. And the same with the Raiders, like calling out their blitz packages. Like he's so smart when it comes to that, very high football IQ. So can he put their offense in a better situation to win versus Riley Leonard or whoever else it might be? I think so. So I do think he's going to play. I don't know how it's going to go. I hear people saying, well, like, man, he's going to be running for his life. He was never fast. He had cement shoes the whole time. So that's never been his thing. He'll throw it away. He throws it in the ground. He does it all the time. He just throws it to his receiver's feet. So
true.
There will be some rest. I can't wait, though. I'll be locked in. Like, all of a sudden, I'm a Colts fan now. So I'm looking forward to it when and if it happens.
Well, I don't know what other options they have. I guess they're going to monitor the health of their backup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to say, like, the Colts, I think he plays because the Colts are desperate. They need to win. They need to win this. Like, you don't start out 7-1 and then 8-2 and then just throw your hands up and say, well, geez, you know what? It's unfortunate. Jones is out. We'll ride it out. Doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I think he's going to play. I'm not sold how well he'll play, but he'll play.
Funny that he and Steichen run the same offense. It was his old quarterback coach for 4 years with the San Diego Chargers. So they're close. We'll see if it happens. And then he would be only the second grandfather to play in the NFL after
one of his kids has a kid.
His first one, I believe, daughter Halley.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. He and Brett Favre.
Well, he
could be the only ones.
He does have 10 kids. So.
10 kids.
Jeez.
What a man. Charlie Brown Christmas debuted on this day in 1965. So my question for you and the listeners, when it comes to the Christmas TV shows and movies, what are your must-watches during the holiday season?
Buddy, go ahead. I got a few.
Oh, I mean, I could probably list off Home Alone 1 and 2, Christmas Vacation, and I'll cap it at Die Hard, even though I'm not on board with it being a Christmas movie. Ashley is, and I'm more than happy to watch it because it is a great movie.
All right. Well, it's around Christmas.
Yeah.
So I know it didn't come out at Christmas, but it's around Christmas. So, man, I got some classics. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Like the claymation one?
Yeah. Yeah, the original. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, good one.
My son still loves that one, so we watch that. Love Actually, no question in my mind. Watch it all. I watch it every year. Love that movie. I think it's great. And how can you not like a Charlie Brown Christmas? More so for the tree than anything else. So,
good music, good message.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there'll be lots of good ones. And the great part is it kind of becomes a tradition in everybody's family for different reasons in why you watch certain movies together different times leading up. Like, I never watch mine on Christmas. I'd always watch it leading up to Christmas. I never watch a movie on Christmas Day or Boxing. We always have family stuff, but I always watch it leading up to it.
I'm with you. Yeah, we did Home Alone last weekend. Probably do Home Alone 2 this weekend.
Yeah.
Christmas Story is great too. John recommended that one. I've never seen the Trailer Park Boys Christmas special. Which Trailer Park Ryan sent in.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, Trailer Park Ryan loves the Trailer Park Boys Christmas. So that makes perfect sense. So I understand it. We'll see. Muppet Christmas carols. And the Muppets are pretty good. Christmas Story is good. And the Oh, what's the other one with the train?
The Tom Hanks one?
Yes.
Polar Express.
Thank you,
Declan.
Thanks, Declan. Yes, Polar Express is another classic that's quite good. I like it for sure. So, yeah. There's you know what? It's just there's something about it that's kind of feel good movies you enjoy. Do you watch Love Actually, Cons?
I have seen it once. Yeah, it was good.
Oh, but it's got some classic scenes in that movie. Hey guys, 4 Christmases. That's like the dark humor one, right? That's where they're him and his girlfriend, him and his wife, and all their parents are divorced, and so they got to go to everybody's side. Ugh, I could imagine. I've never experienced that, but I'm sure that would be tough for some people.
Vince Vaughn,
yeah.
Reese
Witherspoon, yeah.
Is it Vince Vaughn's brothers? I believe are the funniest part of it, but I've only seen it once, so
it's been a few years, but yeah, it's a different type of Christmas movie for sure. But hey, to each their own. You got to do what you like. So it makes it good. Let's get to the Con Man and Sports 1440 update. We got Spec coming up, also DVD, suspension in the National Hockey League, and our final hour month of giving. We're going to get that bad boy up, not too far, but we want to get to face value because that's what we do on the month of giving. We're currently at $3,000 for the package, courtesy of the Brick. We're helping out Santa's Anonymous today. It's a great charity to help kids. Just get a gift at Christmas. Think about not having a gift at Christmas when everybody else gets one. It'd be awful. So you get a $2,500 gift card. Pick whatever you like. That's what's great about this. You're not like, I have to have this couch. No. $2,500 is basically cash, and you use it where you like at the Brick. And you get a 75-inch LG AI UHD 4K smart TV. All the bells and whistles. Go. So you don't have to waste the gift card on TV. You know you're getting a TV. And then you use it how you want to fill out the fan cave. Maybe just, somebody in your family is maybe moving out. They need some new furniture. Can help them out. Be a pretty good Christmas gift. So 833-401-1440. We are helping out Santa's Anonymous currently at $3,000 with Dub. Let's get to Connor Halley, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Wish and win. Stop in and you could win $25,000 if you purchase your next vehicle. Automatically every time, you're guaranteed $500. Play it now. NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Just about 2 hours away from puck drop down at Rogers Place as the Oilers host the Sabres. We got pregame coverage coming your way at 6 o'clock with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and former NHLer Landon Ferraro. Elsewhere around the NHL tonight, Avs in Nashville. You got the Jets taking on the Stars. Ducks in Pittsburgh. Flyers host the Sharks. Islanders meet the Golden Knights. Sens hosting the Devils, and the Tampa Bay Lightning in Montreal. The Edmonton Elks extending quarterback Cody Fajardo through the 2026 season. The 33-year-old threw for just over 3,400 yards and 14 touchdowns in 13 starts last season. In the association tonight, NBA Cup quarterfinals at 6:30. Raptors hosting the Knicks. Right now, midway through the second quarter, the Heat on top of the Magic, 39-35. In the AJ today, Kodiaks fell to the Thunder 4-2 tonight at 7. The Wolverines in Bonnyville. And in the PWHL, Ottawa takes on Vancouver just after 8. From the NFL, 44-year-old quarterback Phillip Rivers unretiring to sign with the Indianapolis Colts after both Daniel Jones and Riley Leonard were injured in Sunday's game against the Jaguars. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll wrap up today's gift for the month of giving. Also be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and NHL.com's Derek Van Diest. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake. But it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee. Still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Black Friday deals continue.
Close your
at the
eyes
Brick.
and think.
And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. Don't wait for the crowds. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Across the province, Albertans are taking
You need to have clean.
with casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province. There's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.504, welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar. Game day, about 2 hours, 5 minutes away. Puck drop, Oilers, Sabres. Tonight, the Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, get it all. And the Jason Gregor Show daily specials, which today we got 3 different ones, all around the Oilers. Conman decided to go with a little bit of a slump buster, Mangiapane. You also have another one has a Draisaitl a goal, McDavid 2 points, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman a goal, all together as one. And McDavid and another one, Oilers to win by 2, McDavid 2 points against Sabres. You can check those out with odds boost at playalberta.ca. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Trailer Park Ryan is up to $3,200 now on our month of giving package. So, hey, getting closer. We like it. We always want to get to face value. $2,500 gift card and a 75-inch big screen LG UHD 4K smart TV. This bad boy is really, really nice. So you can check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com. So 833-401-1440. We're helping out Santa's. Anonymous. let's get to the spec report now, brought to you by GS Construction. They lay new pipelines, install new sewer and wastewater systems, while also rehabilitating existing infrastructure to prevent critical issues. That is GS Construction. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, looking forward to seeing the mighty Buffalo Sabres tonight, Jay.
What, you don't have to fall in line with the team here that's just feeding the lines that the Oilers used to get fed in the decade of darkness. Hey, the Sabres right now, could they beat the Oilers? Of course they can beat the Oilers, because they usually do beat the Oilers in Buffalo. No question. But the Buffalo Sabres right now got a lot of things going wrong for them. The Oilers got a lot of things going right for them. And, man, I would be shocked if I have to come on this show tomorrow and talk about an Oilers loss, because it would be a brutal loss if that happens.
Yeah, it would. I mean, there are, I get it. It's an 82-game season, and you do drop points. You make the point. They never win in Buffalo. The Oilers never win in Columbus, right? But when you get Buffalo at home, they're 0-3 on this road trip. They played last night. They're in they're back to being the Sabres again. This would be a very wasteful evening if the Oilers don't walk out with 2 points. Now, who knows what's going to happen? But I'm with you, Jay. This is 2 points you got to get.
Yeah, 100%. And, well, the Oilers, hey, give them credit. But the other thing is, like, they've yet to win 3 games in a row, Spec. I'd be surprised if they overlook the Sabres. And I crunched all the numbers last year. The Oilers have actually been very good at beating the teams they should beat the last few years. I know they'll lose one, and everybody remembers that. Like no one beats every team every time. They're below them in the standings. But the Oilers have been pretty good against the teams they should beat. And considering they haven't won 3 games in a row, I don't think they're at a position where they're like, we're playing great. We don't have to worry about it.
Well, I think it's a one thing you get with Edmonton through all these playoff runs they've made is they're a veteran team and they got a good dressing room. They don't fall into trap games, and they don't get cocky, and they've been through all these things before. They've played this game against some inferior opponent, 100 times. So, I'm not saying, obviously the possibility of losing the game exists. Maybe the other team plays great. Maybe you get goalie, whatever. I don't see a scenario where you lose because you go, this is going to be easy, and all we have to do is throw our sticks over the boards. That ain't happening to this Oilers team. They can lose. They're not losing that way.
No. You look at the way they're playing, Spec, and that the top lines are good. Like Matt Savoy has started to score here a little bit. And I didn't have in mind Matt Savoy's game overall, but like anything, you get a little offense, and he looks a little bit better, right? All of a sudden he's got a little bit more step. He gets the puck on his stick, and he's making more plays. And Matt Savoy's always been a very good playmaker with the puck. Right? He can shoot the puck. He's very quick, probably even quicker than I thought. Like, he's been one of the Oilers' quicker players all season long. But like, what's your, like, when you look at Matt Savoy, like, how much of an impact guy do you think he's going to be? Not just this year, but for the next few years for this team?
Yeah, I don't know. It's an excellent question. Like, here's this guy. He's a second-year pro. So, I'm the guy. As an observer, I'm not putting a ceiling on him. I'm not ever going to say, it can't be this or it can't be that. He had his first year pro in the AHL. He proved out excellent. He had a really good season in the AHL, which is hard for a little guy coming out of junior. Like, he's not a big man. And he did great in Baco. So that means he can play. And that means he's got to compete, right? So now he comes up here, and it's taken a few, 20 games or so, and he's kind of found his place. And all of a sudden, the puck's starting to go a little bit. And, we see now that he's an excellent skater. And what I noticed the most, Jay, is he's really got this motor. Like, he just churns and churns and churns. He brings a ton of energy to that line. And he works. And, he's got enough skill to play. He's got enough skill to convert for Leon Draisaitl, who can pass as well as he could shoot. And you know what? Like, not many guys at his level, at his age, at his experience, walk in and become top 6 players. I have proven skeptical that a guy his age is a 82 games top 6 player. But I'll tell you what, so far he's proven me wrong. He's fitting right in with Draisaitl. He's making that line better, not worse. And let's see where it goes. But right now, like, I'm not putting a ceiling on him, Jay. This is a good-looking young player. I like him as much or better than Ryan McLeod already.
Oh, yeah. He's a ninth overall pick. Like, he should have, he was projected to be a better player. And Ryan McLeod's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's a different type of player, for sure. Buffalo, when they dealt him, they needed a Ryan McLeod. They had lots of young guys. Now, the Oilers, it looks like they got the right guy out of Buffalo. Zach Benson doesn't have a goal yet this season for the Sabres. Some of their other small guys haven't made the step, where Matt Savoy, Oilers developed him quite well last year in the minors. And I got a boatload of guys down there, Spec. You got Ike Howard, you got Yarventi, Szymanski. Now he's a different guy. I don't see him as an offensive guy. You got Quinn Hudson. And they wonder if, hey, one of those three guys can be next year's version of Matt Savoy.
Well, or you trade him at the deadline for the goalie you need. One of the two. I'm surprised because when the season started, people looked at Bako and said there's nothing there. And, I think we all know that Ike Howard, to me, is kind of following Matt Savoy. He's a year behind Matt Savoy. He's going to have his, a good chunk of this year in the A, and he's going to come out for a better player for it. Szymanski, hey, loved his camp. Everyone down there is telling us he's playing great. That's awesome. There's a guy that you signed as a free agent out of Germany. And what if he played in the NHL? That'd be a really smart signing by the Oilers, scouting staff. And I don't know much about Robbie Yarventi. Like, I haven't watched him play, but we're getting good reports on this guy. So are they all going to play? I don't know. But, if two of the three of them play, I'd say this to you. Bako wasn't supposed to be any good this year, and they really weren't supposed to have many prospects, Jay. And they're starting to prove us wrong, which is awesome.
Yeah. I look at, and going back to the Sabres game tonight, Spec, you got Lindy Ruff in town, longtime veteran guy. The Sabres are going nowhere again. They're in last place in the Eastern Conference. I did the math before when I wrote my article this morning that I used players that have played at least 5 games in the NHL this season. And 92.8% of them never played in the NHL the last time the Sabres made the playoffs. Like, that's how, like, wow. Nugent Hopkins got drafted 2 months after they made the playoffs the last time. He's never been in the NHL. Like, it is wild how few players were in the league when the Sabres made the playoffs the last time.
Oh my God. Like, I grew up, I was just having a coffee with a guy who grew up the same age as me, and he was a huge Gilbert Perreault fan.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the Sabres grow, right? They were good. The French Connection, when we were kids, the French Connection was good. Always thought their logo and their uniform was awesome.
Yeah.
They played those big games against Boston, against the old Broad Street Bullies. Like, there's a ton of history with that Sabres team, man. They got to a cup against Philly. They didn't win it. They got to a cup against Dallas. Damn, Hull's foot was in the crease. They didn't win it. Like, it's been there. But you know what? Now it's, oh, man. They are so far away from being good. Like, it's just a shame. It's like, they remind me of, Jason? They remind me of, like, a beautiful old 65 Mustang that's got a bunch of dents and no one took care of it. You go, oh my God, that could be such a beautiful car. That's what the Sabres are. They could be good. They're not very good.
No, they're not. And like Alex Tuck, that's a guy for Oiler fans to watch tonight because his name has been out there. And right, like he, the fact that he said, "Hey, I'm just going to put off contract talks. Kind of want to see how the season goes." Well, the season's not going very well. But make no mistake, the Oilers won't be the only team in on Alex Tuck. But as we're seeing, certain play, like the Oilers have the advantage right now that players want to come to Edmonton because the team is good, right? That the fans are crazy in the playoffs, right? They're passionate all year round. They show up. There's very rarely a dull game. Now it can be a little quiet in there, so fans cheer. But other than that, right, there's lots of reasons for players to want to come here. Shocking. When the team's good, they'll want to go someplace. Obviously, you got McDavid and Draisaitl, and, that's an advantage. Now, obviously, Colorado has McKinnon and Makar, but like, some places don't have that same advantage. And we've heard from players, man, that's a legit thing now for the Oilers. And, you know what? If you're the Edmonton Oilers, spanking the Buffalo Sabres might be that reminder. Hey, Alex, off a face-off. Hey, buddy, we'd love to have it come here. Right? I know those conversations have gone on before, Spec, in the game.
Well, and I mean, if so you're Alex Tuck. He's a pending UFA, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So you're pending UFA. So there's two things here. You'd love to take a run at the Stanley Cup. Okay, well, Edmonton fits that. They check that box for sure. And B, you want to make yourself look as good as possible because you're about to become a UFA and go into the open market. And now forget about Edmonton. You're debuting for 32 teams. So it's a I'm not saying it's the only place. I'm not saying there's no other good teams out there. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying Edmonton checks every box for Jack Roslovic, who's putting in a year here, and he's not going to play here next year probably. He's going to sign a free agent deal somewhere. He's got two centermen here to play with. Alex Tuck's the same guy. So, Edmonton is, with their centermen, particularly getting wingers, Jason, if there's a top flight winger out there, it's a pretty good place to come and build up your stock for July 1st.
Yeah. It is, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Alex Tuck, because I think the closer it gets to the trade deadline, the more invested teams are going to get. And
he's a good player.
Oh, he's a really good player. And,
he's a good player.
There's be some teams in the East who might really want to bid high, because right now I don't see any team that stands out. I think the East is wide open. The West, I think there's 4 teams. I think there's Colorado, Dallas. I think there's Vegas and Edmonton. And then I think there's a gap after that. And in the East, I don't see one team in an echelon by itself. And I'm sure I see one team in the East, especially Florida. Now, if Florida was fully healthy, that'd be a different conversation. But they're not, and they might not be all year long. We don't know about Barkov. We don't know when he's going to be back. And, Florida's, they got to get their ducks in a row before I put them in the conversation. Now, if they get healthy and they're in the playoff spot, well, that's a different conversation. But do you see any East team that's in that echelon of those other 4?
No, I don't see the East. You're right. The East is totally wide open. There's, New Jersey's looking good right now, but they've never done it before. Montreal looks good right now. They've never done it before. You just spoke to Florida. Mad respect for the Florida Panthers, how good they've been. Maybe 3 cups in a row. Maybe it's just maybe this is a year where it ain't going to happen for them. Too many injuries, too many games, right? But no, there's not a team up there like Colorado. There's not a team up there. I guess I'd say Florida, the Edmonton of the Eastern Conference is Florida, and look at the state they're in. Vegas is obviously a really, really, really good team, and so is Dallas. So, I don't think anyone in the league is disagreeing with you, Jay. The strength is in the West this year. There's no question. And the East is wide open, so that'll make for an interesting trade deadline.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Spec, enjoy the game tonight.
You coming to the rink?
I am coaching tonight, unfortunately, so I will not be there.
Oh,
well, not unfortunately. Okay. Fortunately, it's good. It's fun, man. I love it. Yeah. So, got a big game on a rare Tuesday for us. Awesome. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Let's Mark Spector, the Spec Report. A little bit of an early game, so you know what? Got the game on record. Just watch it when I get home. Nothing wrong with that. I'll take a quick break. We're going to end the auction at 5:40 today. Okay, so it's currently at $3,200 for Trailer Park Ryan. You're getting a $2,500 gift card at the Brick and a big 75-inch high-def 4K smart TV. Unreal package currently at $3,200, all for Santa's Anonymous. So if you want to help out, please do so. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us in our email inbox. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Chief Principe and Jason Stredler. Join us on a 7-night cruise to the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise, July 2026. Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Book now and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours/Edmonton.
Black Friday deals continue at The Brick. And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.523, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, Lotto Max, $75 million. Good luck. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Time now to get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto, where they have over 15,000 vehicles for you to choose from. GoAuto.ca. No shortage of options. As we welcome in from NHL.com, Derek Van Diest. And DVD, of course, you write for NHL.com. You cover a lot of different teams, lots of different storylines. How much concern do you think there is in Winnipeg about the Jets?
I think there's quite the concern in Winnipeg. I just think obviously shows how much Connor Halley how much value he was to that team. And I think if anyone had questions about him winning the MVP last year, you can see how valuable he is to the Jets. But I think there's concern essentially because the rest of the teams in that conference or that division are running away with it. Like you have Colorado, you have Dallas, you got Minnesota. You have really good teams in that division. And that lull, that's going to make it really, really hard to catch one of those top 3 teams. So essentially, they're playing for a wild card now. But they're struggling on all fronts. They're having trouble keeping the puck out of their own net. They're having trouble scoring. The PK is not doing very well. So there's some issues there that really the Jets have to address and look to fix. But it all starts in goal. Without their star goaltender, this is a very, very average hockey team.
Yeah, well, without their goalie, they've been giving up a lot. And I look at the Jets, and especially like right now, the Jets, I guess maybe Minnesota hits the skids, but it's almost like those 3 teams are so far ahead already that it's going to be hard to to catch any of them. So basically now you're into a battle for a wild card. Now, good news is if you're Winnipeg, you're battling Utah, and they just lost Logan Cooley, and you're battling the Sharks, and you're battling the Blackhawks, and the St. Louis Blues. Like, the St. Louis Blues are suddenly only 2 points out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, and you saw what they did last year to make the playoffs. Didn't they go on that heater at the end of the year? I think the Blues, then they win something like 13 or 14 games or something like that at the end of the year. So I guess at this time of the season, I think that's why they say that if you're in the playoffs by U.S. Thanksgiving, there's 80% chance that you're going to stay in the playoffs. There's not a lot of movement, and it's really tough to kind of make up a lot of ground unless you put a lot of wins together. But then again, you have teams playing each other that don't get up in the standings. You have the loser point that really kind of throws things in the mix. So if you fall down really far behind, especially by Christmas time, yeah, you need to go on a heater. You need to go on an 8, 9, 10-game win streak to get yourself back in the race. And I think, we've seen that in the past. We've seen teams do that in the past. But, yeah, it's going to be tough. So if you're the Jets or if you're those other teams on the bubble, you don't want to fall too far behind because then you're fighting for your life essentially right after the Christmas break.
Yeah, I think this year might be a little bit different because everybody was so close to within 2 points in that. And to be I'll go back and look at it, when the season's over. It'll be funny to see who's in and who is out because we see it in the East all the time, man. Like there's not much separation in all those divisions right now. It's kind of crazy. But, you've got a team that can win 2 or 3 in a row, and suddenly you go from being in 15th place up to being in 8th place. So in the span of a week, it's kind of wild. Whereas the West has already got some separation, and the Oilers are a team that I think now wants to get themselves up closer, right? Like that. Not that the season begins now by any stretch of the imagination, but they slogged their way through the first 25 games, and this next week is probably their last really difficult week of the season, where they play 6 games in 9 days in 6 different cities, 2 sets of back-to-back. They start Saturday, Sunday. Then they play Tuesday, Thursday, then Saturday, Sunday again. But then after that, it's not like, all their Eastern road games are gone. Over half the road schedule is done. Like their schedule after that DVD gets pretty easy. But that's why I think tonight and Thursday are very needed wins against teams that you should beat. Detroit's going to be playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. Buffalo just isn't that good, and they play in second of a back-to-back. Like, you take advantage of that, then all you got to do is go 3-3 in those 6, and you're set up pretty well going into Christmas.
Yeah, you are. And I think this is the Oilers' an opportunity to win 3 in a row for the first time this year would be tonight. So they haven't won 3 in a row yet this year. Buffalo looked at times it looked terrible against Calgary last night. At times they looked like, hey, I could see something there. But that's kind of been the case with Buffalo for the last 10 years, is that you look like they could kind of get their way out of the woods, and then they make terrible mistakes, and then they're right back where they started. So, yeah, this team is really tough. So if the Oilers, they want to make some ground. They want to, make some moves up the standings. Yeah, you have to start here. And you're right. The schedule was really tough on Edmonton to start the season. They were on the road a lot, playing in a lot of different cities. But if you're able to get through it and come out on the other side, which they did, and now still have an opportunity to make up a lot of ground and to get a lot of points at home. You look at their schedule in January. I think they're at home the whole month of January or something like that. Like they got a lot of home games in January. So they have an opportunity here if they get through this road trip. But I think talking to the guys as a whole, I think they feel that they're starting to come together. Their game is starting to get together. And I think now they have an opportunity because the schedule that the Oilers had at the beginning of the season, now other teams are going through that tough road schedule, those tough back-to-backs. And the back-to-backs out west aren't fun when you got to play a game and you got to fly from Vancouver to Edmonton, or you got to fly from Seattle to Edmonton, even up the road to Calgary. It was a late game last night. So, so now the Oilers have an opportunity to kind of really take advantage of their opponents the way maybe some opponents took advantage of them earlier on in the season.
What's your thoughts on Podkolzin and what he could become?
Well, yeah, he's got the talent, doesn't he? And I think it's a matter of finding that confidence and find that confidence around the net. Like, this is a guy that's going to get a lot of opportunities. The really good players bury those opportunities. I would say the really good players, they score 1 in every 3 really good chances. The mediocre players score 1 in 5, and then you get your lower down the lineup. You need more chances to convert. I think he's a guy that can contribute 10 to 15 goals a year. Especially playing with Leon Draisaitl, you think he would contribute more, but he's not a great finisher in my opinion. Like he needs a lot of chances to score, and when he is feeling it, I think you can see that come out, and he's more confident in his shot. He's more confident in picking spots. But I think it's ebbs and flows with him, and in this game, it's all about consistency. Can you be a consistent, everyday top two line player? And I think we're seeing that. We're starting to see that in him, but I don't think he's quite there yet. But playing with the Draisaitl has obviously elevated his game to new levels that he hadn't seen playing in Vancouver or even last year playing here. So I think that's really helped him a lot this season.
Oh God, yeah. I think it's I see him on the ice a half an hour before. Like the guy's always working to try to improve, right? And that to me is what I look and say, hey, you know what? There's a chance here that this guy could maybe become a 20-goal scorer down there. Like I think if he becomes a 20-goal scorer, because he's not going to be a power play guy, but if he becomes a 20-goal scorer, that's going to be that's a big advantage.
Yeah, it is, and he loves the game and he works hard at it. I think I think he recognizes the opportunity in front of him. He's probably never going to play with a player as good as Leon Draisaitl if he leaves here, wherever he goes. Like Leon Draisaitl is such a great player, and the fact that he gets to play with him and learn from him, and just see his work habits every day. That's going to be huge for a guy like Podkolzin. And he does love the game. He loves to play. He loves to stay out on the ice. He likes to work on things. But I do think he recognizes the situation here and the opportunity he has in front of him.
Derek Van Diest joins us. DVD on another note, Alphonso Davies back on the pitch. That's good news for Canada as they look ahead to the World Cup. Really good news. I heard he played about 6 minutes today. But he's looking good. He's back on. Yeah. Now, obviously they're going to track him, with Bayern. And I think, from what my understanding, he looked good. Like he was running up and down without any problems. And that is obviously going to be huge for Canada. So he's got a lot of time to kind of get his game back, get his flow back, and work the minutes up. I guess that's the big thing is when you haven't haven't played in a long time, you got to kind of work back up to playing. Like today, I think he played 6 or 7. They'll play 15. He'll play 25. He'll play 35. He'll play a half, and then you kind of work your way up to that level. So hopefully by June, he should be fine. He should be playing 90 minutes, be able to get up and down the pitch the way he normally does. But yeah, that's huge news for Canada going into the World Cup is having that guy back because he's your heart and soul. He's your star player, and everyone identifies Canada with Alphonso Davies. You think about Canada, if you're anywhere around the world, that's the first player you think of. To have him back in the lineup would be huge for Canada, especially if they draw Italy in that first game in Toronto. That would be unbelievable. I still think that's a great draw for Canada because in my opinion, if you go to the World Cup, you want to play the best teams in the world. And I think this is a good opportunity to do that if Italy's somehow able to get through their qualifying group in Europe, their playoff group. But yeah, I think Canada's it's gonna be really exciting, and yeah, to have him back in the lineup, it's only be good things for the team. Well, yeah, and it gets exciting. Are you a big fan? Like when you look at the draw, what do you make of it?
I like the draw. I like the fact that Canada, for one, like when Canada went to Qatar, I wanted to see them play a big opponent. I wanted to see them play a Belgium, which they did, and Croatia. And now that was the toughest group to get out of, Canada's group, and they fared really well. So I think Canada's not going to win this tournament. So I think it's good if they go out there and just give it all they got and play against the best. So you want to see Canada against Brazil. You want to see Canada against England. You want to see Canada against Italy. I know a lot of people are talking, well, maybe now we won't get out of the group. I still think they have an opportunity. Switzerland is a pretty solid team, but they're a tier 2 European team. Qatar, that should be a cakewalk for Canada. I don't think they should have any problems getting over through Qatar. And so it'll come down to that Switzerland game, that Italy game, if they can get something out of it. But I think that Italy game, if it is Italy, I don't want to, put the cart in front of the horse here. But if it is Italy in Toronto, what a massive, massive game that will be, and a spectacle that would be. And it would be so much fun, and everyone would remember where they were. And, especially if you're of Italian descent, my God, what a game that would be to play Canada. I got a bit of it at the Copa America last year when Canada played Chile. I thought that was fantastic. So I think, if you're from somewhere else, like if they played Germany, if they played all these other countries where you have a lot of descendants here from Canada would have been fantastic. So I'm really excited for that game. Really excited for my Italian friends for that game. And it'll be really interesting to see. Hopefully Italy does do what they're supposed to do and get through to that qualifying group. But I really like their group, or I like Canada's group, and I think they have a really good opportunity to get out of that group and make it to the second round.
Awesome. DVD, we look forward to it, buddy. Thanks so much for this, and enjoy the game tonight.
Sounds good. See you down there. Thanks for having me on.
You betcha. That's Derek Van Diest. And, well, yeah, I know, Canadian Italians would be all over it. Be kind of, well, you're like, hey, I can't lose. But if you have to pick one, who do you choose? Dub went up to 3,300. Always like the last second bids. It's great. Connor Halley's got to do a little bit of work. He'll be working the phones during the upcoming break to get people in, 833-401-1440. So Ryan and Dub, be sure to be answering your phone here the rest of the way as we get this package courtesy of the Brick. Going to Santa's Anonymous, we are up to $3,300, which is fantastic. A few other quick texts before we take a break. Hey, guys, how many more Mangiapane, Skinners, Arvidsson, and Fredericks until the free agents go hard pass? They don't find success with coach. Secondly, would Rozovic be better served to take another one-year low contract and hit the last contract jackpot? Well, you do wonder about that because after last year, he scored 22 goals and he didn't really have a lot of people bite. Now, he came in and he played well, and he didn't play well just because he played with McDavid and Draisaitl. I think we should point that out, right? Like, he scored a few goals in overtime that had nothing to do with those guys. He scored a few other. Now, obviously, he scored a few goals with McDavid, no question. The injury comes at a terrible time for him. And because the thing with Roslovic had been a good starter in other places. Can he be a finisher? And I think when he returns to the lineup, that's going to be can he get back and can he maintain consistency? It's the hardest thing to do, but can he maintain it? That's going to be the challenge for him, for sure. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Conman and Declan Kruger will take you through them. We got the pregame show with Walker and Paulson Oilers and the Buffalo Sabres. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
We want orange. Give us the orange. We want orange. Bring back the orange.
You got it, Canada. Booster Juice orange smoothies are back by popular demand. The original, the marathon, and orangesicle smoothies are back and bursting with tangy zest of oranges. They're Canadian favorites. Orange, you glad they're back? Only for a limited time. So squeeze the day, smoothie lovers, and head to a Booster Juice near you now. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. Fast. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
A mullet for Marvin, a bowl cut for Barry, a pompadour for Peter, who's now really quite hairy. After this Christmas, all the men wish they could get some hair restoration from Dr. Vance Elliott.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. While you're Christmas shopping, consider giving yourself the greatest gift of all, a full natural head of hair. I know the results will be life-changing. Want to make this the year you get your mojo back? Book a free first consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Clyburn. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. What's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day. And see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Black Friday deals continue at the Brick.
And until December 11th, you can save big in every department. Save up to $1,000 off sectionals, up to 40% off mattresses, and up to 30% off furniture. Plus, buy more, save more, up to an extra $300 off select major appliances. Don't wait for the crowds. It's your last chance for Black Friday deals. See thebrick.com for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Miss golf during the off-season? Of course you do. So head to the Leduc Golf Club and try their state-of-the-art golf simulators. Perfect your swing, enjoy delicious food and beverages, and even book a lesson with one of the Leduc Golf Club pros. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or just starting, the Leduc Golf Club simulators offer a great way to keep your game sharp any time of the year. Call or visit the Leduc Golf Club today to book your spot and swing into action all year round.
This Christmas, Subaru is proud to support the Little Warriors, a national charitable organization dedicated to protecting children, raising awareness, and helping survivors heal from the trauma of child sexual abuse. Join us for a Phil Forrester event at Rally Subaru in Subaru City. We're collecting much-needed items like AAA batteries, art supplies, backpacks for kids, winter gear, and laundry essentials. Drop off your donations at either location and be entered to win a free detail package. Thank you for your support from Subaru.
The wrapping paper is coming off, the gift box is opening, and the crowd goes wild.
When they want sports in their stocking, you'll find gifts that score big at St. Albert's Source for Sports. Jerseys and accessories, baseball, bikes, all kinds of skates, and everything on. It's all here, alongside expert advice from pros who know sports. Put the best sports brands under the tree for less with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for hockey and the best sports gifts for over 35 years.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, lots of fun to be had on PlayAlberta.ca. You got the NBA Emirates Cup, Raptors in action shortly. You got the Oilers, and check it out. Use your game sense. And, of course, the $75 million lotto. Could you imagine? As Gregor coined it, the Al Regula of lottos. Tonight, 1-833-401-1440 is the text line. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger wrapping up this show as Gregor had to head out. It is game day. Once once the show wraps up, we'll head it over to Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro as they will get you ready for the game tonight. Oilers and Sabres. Right now, looks like Dub has the winning bid here for the package from the Brick up to $3,500. Congratulations. And just continue to raise more money here in the month of giving. Of course, it's going to continue throughout the remainder of the week. Friday, we'll build a pyramid of money as we do every Friday here. Tomorrow, you got the water home filtration system from Culligan. This one intrigues me, actually. I'm going to have to get in on that, raising money for the Christmas Bureau. And then on Thursday, 2 packages. One for Chop Steakhouse, Ellerslie or downtown. You, 5 guests. Partnered up with the morning show. Kevin Carius, Eddie Steele, Brandon Douglas, and Ladislav Schmid. Big dinner. You get that in the first 6 months of 2026. And then the second package will consist of a wine tasting and holiday beverage sample with Sherbrooke Liquor. And of course, if you listen to the show as much as I'm sure most of you do, you know that we got a pretty good relationship with Sherbrooke Liquor. Every Thursday here, 240 David Owens comes by and sample a few drinks. That's essentially what this package is going to be. So join us tomorrow and Thursdays. We got a lot of great packages coming up, raising money for the Christmas Bureau in the next couple days here. We've talked about the Edmonton Oilers in action tonight, taking on the Buffalo Sabres, as a lot of you know. A game where I think we would project them to win. They've handled their business the last little while here against teams they should beat. But we thought they could handle their business on the road in Buffalo, where they have struggled a little bit. So the Edmonton Oilers looking to turn things around tonight. Also, congratulations to Greg, who actually picked up a pair of tickets from us as well. So, Greg, we'll get those tickets sent your way either now or once the show wraps up. I'll slide over and make sure we do it. Declan Kruger on the other side here. Declan, we've talked about it a little bit off the air here, but the big news for me today, Philip Rivers heading to the Indianapolis Colts on the practice roster. I have been a big fan of it. I think it's a good move because you got to try something. And maybe I just like old heads, because I was the same way when the Bengals acquired Joe Flacco. I was telling young Josh Fenwick, who was a Bengals fan, like, this is a good deal. Like, you know, it wasn't working with the younger regime. Bring in someone who can read defenses, know the importance of getting the ball into the playmakers' hands. Now, I think the Bengals only won a single game in that span, but that defense puts up a lot of points. Flacco is in a tough situation. Going to the Colts, and I know he's got a tough schedule if he does play, but the offensive line for the Indianapolis Colts, PFF has them ranked at number 2, behind only the Denver Broncos. So he'll have some protection there. It's not the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. And Rivers, combining my Chargers quarterbacks, I mean, his strongest asset has always been his mind. His arm strength, okay, pretty good. His accuracy was very good. His mobility never existed. It's always been his ability to read defenses and make the smart play. And I can tell you, for watching him for well over a decade, sometimes he would frustrate me because he would throw the ball at someone's feet rather than take a sack or, aim for them and put it up a little bit higher. But that was to avoid sacks. And the more I watched him, the more I kind of realized that. And then you watch bad quarterback play and you think, okay, this is not a bad idea. Declan, I don't know if you guys got into it too much on the Lowdown with Low Tide today, but I think this is it's not the ideal situation. You never want to call a 44-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in 5 seasons and is coaching now. And, a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame. But for the casual fan deck, I think this is awesome. I'm going to be locked in if they make it happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, credit to you for throwing the Bengals defense under the bus there, not the fact that Joe Flacco's 56 years old. I like what you did there. It's a good little cover.
I mean, they deserve it.
No, yeah, they do. They're a terrible defense. We did talk about it a little bit, and it's a really cool story. The first thing I kind of thought of was like, man, how bad do you have to feel if you are some of these practice squad eligible guys who are there to be picked up, who got looked over for 44-year-old Philip Rivers, who hasn't played in the league in 5 years. And Phil, like, you made great points about Philip Rivers. Obviously, you know him far better than I do, watched him far more than I do. And like, his knowledge for the game is always going to be there. And you make the point that he was a quarterback who got by on his football IQ and not his physical abilities. But there is no question that his physical abilities in this time that has passed and as he's gotten older has waned. And so, like, I worry about, like, his mind is going to want to make plays that his body simply won't be able to. And I'm not talking about rolling out of the pocket. I'm not talking about when you're running, play action or anything like that. Like, I'm talking about just passes that he would have made in his prime, no questions asked. The touch is going to be a little bit slower. Phillips, it's going to be like a slow motion Simpson scene or something. He's going to have like a slow motion release, and it's going fast motion in his mind. He's like, wait, why isn't this ball out of my hands yet? In my prime, I would have had this out half a second ago, but it's going to be moving slowly and it's just not going to get there. Like, it's the practice squad. It's hilarious is what, that's really what this is. He's 44, man. He hasn't played in the league in 5 years. Like, this is, and his last team was the Colts. Like, this is as funny as it gets. I hope it works out. I cannot possibly imagine this ending well for anyone in the situation. Like, dude, the second he gets hit, his knees are going to explode.
Oh, he'll be braced up. He's been braced up since he was
He's gonna
25 years old.
He's gonna look like a Family Guy cutscene. Not to keep making cartoon references, but
You mentioned like practice roster quarterbacks around the league. Like, do you want Kyle Trask? Do you want Easton Stick?
I know I was looking at some of the names too.
Do you want free agent Hendon Hooker?
Hendon Hooker was nice at Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
That's what people say.
I might have taken a flyer on Will Greer.
Well, yeah, I think Taylor Heineke. Like that would be the one for me. You know, he's
Taylor Heineke. Yeah, that was the name that got thrown around today as well.
He had some skill, but he's not even on a roster right now. What kind of shape is he in? It doesn't matter. He would have been fine had he gotten out there. But if you're a Colts fan, I get the skepticism. I think it'd probably be a little frustrating.
Well, dude, this whole season, I mean, look at it. Like you were poised to be one of the premier's generous. You were poised to be one of the top teams in the AFC going into the playoffs. And it fell apart at the seams very quickly, quite honestly. And we were talking about Jonathan Taylor MVP.
Yeah.
We were saying, should we give Daniel Jones another $160 million? Like these were the conversations we were having. And now look at where the team is at. Hey man, no one's a bigger Daniel Jones hater than I am.
You know, and it like you think about those teams in the past. Like I always remember the Pittsburgh Steelers from, and it might have even been the COVID year when they were like 11-3, had to play a game on Wednesday, and I was like,
everyone knew they were frauds.
Yeah, this team is not that good. And there's teams in the NFL right now that I kind of have that feeling about.
But you didn't feel that way about the Colts,
The Colts were not that. No, because I thought, you run the football, you don't make Daniel Jones have to win. Like, establish the run, get Jonathan Taylor going. As long as he stayed healthy, I thought, yeah, that's pretty good. Tyler Warren looks like a really good player, bright future. I think Pittman's okay. Downs, Pierce, like they have some good options. But they can't be a pass-first team. They have to establish the run instead of the play action and not fall behind in games. The second they fall behind and Danny Dimes is to lead you to victory, that's when I think the problems arise.
This kind of reminds me, like in high school, I took 1 week during practice, I took third-string quarterback reps because we were already down to our third-string quarterback. They were like, all right, well, we need a backup, and a backup's
You were Phillip Rivers.
And, well, they told me, they were like, Declan, listen, if you get in, you're just going to hand the ball off anyway, man. And I tried to tell them, I was like, if I get in, let me sling it. And they were like, absolutely. Did you hear what we just said? If you get in, you're handing the ball off. That's what I feel like with Phillip. Like, let Jonathan Taylor run it 45 times again. Give it to Alec Pierce on an end around. White boy's got some speed.
And I think the one thing he's a coach out there. If he sees a weakness in the defense, he can attack it, right? Whereas I think if you have Riley Leonard out there, he's fighting for his life. Former Notre Dame quarterback, right?
Yes, and Duke Blue Devil.
We think about Notre Dame.
Yeah, boo. You don't think Phillip Rivers is going to be fighting for his life out there? He's going to be fighting for his life just to get on the field and get up from the bench.
Oh,
arthritic knees, man. He's going to be sitting there with icy hot.
He'll be fine. He'll take some Toradol. He'll take the injection like they used to do.
Well, you better give him the whole pharmacy.
When men were men. Yeah, well, yeah, he'll be fine. You'll see. And if he gets bumped, then he'll just retire. That would suck, though, because that sets his Hall of Fame eligibility to be back 5 years. He's already a semifinalist. But you know what? If he goes and wins the Super Bowl, it's all over. He's going to the Hall. I kid. It's not going to happen. Thank you guys for tuning into the show today. A lot of fun. Good money raised, $3,500 as Dub picks up the brick package. Big thank you to everyone who joined us on the show today. Dave McCarthy, Struddy, DVD, Spec, and more. If you missed anything, go check out the podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, or you can go rewatch the show on YouTube. Before we hand things over to Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Farrar, we'll get to one final sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home and no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Bundle them together and save more at legacyheating.ca. Here is Declan Kruger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers at home tonight as the Buffalo Sabres come to town. Puck drop at 7. Pre-game coverage getting going in just about 5 minutes time here with Donovan Paulson and Andrew Walker. Scores around the NHL right now include the Lightning leading the Canadiens 3-0 at the end of the first. Devils and Sens tied 2-2 at the same mark. Golden Knights up on the Islanders 2-1. And with 10:23 left in the first, the Blue Jackets and Hurricanes currently tied 0-0. In the NBA right now, the Magic currently lead the Heat 80-73 in quarterfinal of the NBA Cup. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter in that one. And in about 35 minutes time, we will see the Raptors and Knicks out in Toronto. The Edmonton Elks have extended quarterback Cody Fajardo through the 2026 season. The 33-year-old threw for just over 3,400 yards with 14 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 13 starts with a 6-7 record last season. In the AJ earlier today, the Kodiaks fell to the Thunder 4-2. Tonight at 7, it will be the Wolverines in Bonnyville. And the big piece of news in the NFL world today is 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is unretiring to sign with the Colts after both Daniel Jones and Riley Leonard got injured in Sunday's game versus the Jags. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. On behalf of Connor Halley and Jason Gregor, I'm Declan Kruger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
More Edmonton families than ever are struggling as food prices